Day 2 of the final major of the year, the Open Championship, the 151st, coming to you from Royal Liverpool. This is the 18th. My goodness, who will be champion golfer of the year come Sunday? So much golf still to play. 3 rounds, in fact. We have 18 under our belt. 3 players tied at the top of the leaderboard at 5 under par. This is the range where we are. We've been here all week and we will continue to stay here until the conclusion of play come Sunday. Gorgeous part of the world in the northwest of England. And my goodness, what an 18 holes we had yesterday. As I say, 3 players right at the top, including local lad Tommy Fleetwood. He was delighted with his round. Also joining him, Emiliano Grillo and the amateur Christu Lamprecht, who said he was just delighted to see his name on the yellow leaderboard, infamous for the Open Championship. You heard roars all around the course yesterday. It was fabulous. It really couldn't have been any better. Today, weather conditions, it's overcast, a little bit more windy, and we've just seen Billy Horschel's just been on the range. He's off to his tee time in about half an hour's time, and we've got Top Tracer here, cameras everywhere. We've got a great audience as well. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Give us a wave. You're on telly. How are you? You good? Great stuff. Travel from all over the place, from Scotland, from Wales, from Ireland, South Africa, Australia as well. I spoke to a few Aussies. They're here to support Cam Smith. He finished 1 over par yesterday, but as I say, 5 under was the top score. Rory McIlroy, my goodness, he finished in style, didn't he? That bunker shot, his fourth shot out of the bunker on 18 was just so impressive. We'll speak a lot about that. He managed to save par, level par round for Rory. Delighted to be joined. I'm going to stay here because it's a slightly slower start today. Johnny Morgan, how are you, John? Love the hat. Is that from the shop? I'm going to stand this side of you.
Yeah,
this is my better side. I don't know if I have a good side, but this is...
That was my better side as well.
Oh, was it? I'm sorry. I'm going to take it. Morning. Hello. How are you? You good?
Yeah, very good.
Great. Did you enjoy yesterday?
Oh, epic, wasn't it?
Oh, it was brilliant.
Exactly what you want an Open Championship to be. You know, it's hard work for the players. Like there was a bit of breeze.
Yeah,
they found it tough.
Yeah, they certainly did. Did you see Rory finish?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He always seems to leave his mark.
Did you see that? Can you recreate the leg, John?
Well, I'll do myself a bit of mischief if I do it, mind.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's
one leg in, 1 leg out.
That was it.
You know, getting it down there. I mean, literally popped it out nicely. Took the camber of the bunker, back of the bunker, down towards the hole, slotted it in style to find his par.
I know you've got great core strength, but how much core strength do you need over that shot to execute it the way that he did?
Yeah, I mean, imagination, all the papers are going everywhere.
I don't want my
the breeze just kicking up, which is a good
Thanks,
idea.
Paul. Thank you.
So, you know, I mean, the breeze getting up, I mean, it's just epic. I mean, the grandstand's around 18. It just makes you want to play a great shot, and there's Rory just showing us all his flair. Yeah,
it was brilliant. Tommy Fleetwood, 5 under par. He had 3 birdies in his last 5 holes, really capitalised on those last 5. Birdies at 14, really tough hole, 15 and 16 as well, and pars on 17, 18. Impressive stuff.
It is. I mean, I've been talking about 17 all week, and I will be. And that little mischief, you know, little lie is going to cause havoc for the players.
It was okay yesterday, though, wasn't it?
It was good. I mean, favourable pin position, front right. I mean, they were able to bail out down the left-hand side. But if they got it all wrong, you know, they were going to make a silly little number. But you know, it was a cracking little hole. I mean, 18th hole, par 5 coming up there, out of bounds down the right. Oh my goodness, just a thing of nightmares, you know, off that tee, because it bottlenecks. You've got the 3 bunkers up the left-hand side. Rory's probably got the power to get over the last bunker, like a couple of others, but you still got to absolutely nail it dead straight.
Oh, totally. Those 3 bunkers on the left-hand side, they're really dangerous. I saw Justin Thomas. He went from 1 bunker to another. 11 over par, unfortunately, for Justin Thomas. See if he can regroup today. Show you the leaderboard, and as it stands at the moment, as I say, those 3 players, Grillo, Tommy Fleetwood and Lamprecht, are leading by 1 shot at -5. Just such a great story for Lamprecht, isn't it? The South African, who's been so well supported by Louis Oosthuizen and Charles Schwartzel, Brandon Grace. Brian Harman, great stats from Brian. I think he was leading in putts yesterday, -4. Stuart Singh, champion 2009. He's got his wife on the bag. Wyndham Clark, major champ, -3. Alex Noren as well, a 10-time winner on the DP World Tour with Max Homa, who played some brilliant golf. I spoke to Iona Stephen yesterday, and she was out on the course commentating, saying the wind really did pick up a little bit in the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, you know, steady in the morning, and then always just like, you know, whether the waves coming in a little bit, you know, all of a sudden the wind gets up a little bit. But yeah, like you say, stellar top of the leaderboard there. you know, fraught with some serious talent, and you got some great guys going out later.
Yeah, you certainly do. Tell us a little bit more about Emiliano Grillo from Argentina and where his game is at right now. 66 on day one. You predicted that score, didn't you?
I did. I mean, Emiliano, I played with him when he got his card on the DP World Tour.
Did you?
We were both at final qualifying, so I know him really well, and I was super impressed.
Yeah.
He showed his clarity there and his class, and here he is. No surprise he's up there. He's got a serious game.
How will Lamprecht handle today? Because it's being an amateur leading the Open Championship, it's pretty much a dream come true. How do you keep your nerves today in day two?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, goodness.
He seems like he's playing without fear.
Yeah.
But does it start to sink in? Oh my goodness, my name's up there.
No, you imagine it. He's come off the golf course. He's leading the Open Championship here at Royal Liverpool. The attention on him, it is ridiculous. He's never going to experience anything like that, and then he's going to go to bed, put his head on the pillow and go,
probably not
oh my goodness, I'm leading the Open.
Let's have a look further down the leaderboard, and we've got Matthew Jordan, the local lad, teed off at 6:35 a.m. yesterday morning. It is such a great story. Oh, there he is, yeah. 2 under par, 69. Great start for him, John.
Mate, it's amazing. You imagine all that pressure on the first tee shot, and then, you know, going around the home support, absolutely pushing him along. That Willett, and you've seen him when he got to the little lie, 17, the big breath of fresh air he took in because of the pressure he was under, and he was feeling it. And once he found the green, he was like, thank goodness that's over.
Michael Stewart, I walked past him the other day and I wanted a photo with him because his caddy had Stewart on. Anyway, I digress massively. Ollie Wilson, -2, being coached by Robert Rock for the last couple, well, since the British Masters, where he had a great result there.
Yeah, I mean, he won last year.
He's had a great, you know, an interesting journey, hasn't he? He went back to Challenge Tour, regained his card, shows the strength of his character to be able to get back on tour. OK, George is out and about. George, where are you today?
Well, I just heard you guys talking about the 18th green and all the troublesome bunkers, so I thought, why not go there and check them out firsthand? And as you said, Di, they are very scary, no doubt about it. Whew. The greenkeepers have just been out this morning and they've cut the greens, 3.5 mils, beautiful electric mowers, fantastic if you've got neighbours, won't wake them up too early. But as you saw yesterday, these bunkers caused so much trouble, didn't they? John Rahm was here, JT was in here, and then he went into there as well. So there was plenty going on. Did I hear that Johnny Morgan was trying to get in Rory's position, bend that knee?
Yeah, I was going to have a go, little Georgie, man. I was, I do myself a little mischief if I try and do that manoeuvre there.
Those hamstrings wouldn't be able to handle it, my boy.
Can you do it, George? Can you sort of recreate it on the side? Obviously not getting into the bunker.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to get in, but standing here and seeing how close this pin is, it's actually made me see for the first time how hard that shot is. Not only has he stuffed the first one up, and he has stuffed it up, could have done better. Come on, Rory. But then he's got into this position.
Really, George?
And this just looks even harder. So to get up and down from there is seriously special. And as it's been said many a time, could that be a defining moment in this championship? Certainly sent a roar up. And nice to see a little Rory fist pump once it went in, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And he'll sleep a little bit better with that par save, won't he, on 18? Oh, George, he's just inspecting that bunker, John, isn't he?
Well, look at it, how steep it is as well. I mean, one leg in, one leg out. You got your left knee up on the ground.
He was quite indecisive, wasn't he, with which leg to get up?
I mean, the thing is, with when you put your right leg in, you kind of got to toe it in a little bit, and you create yourself an angle, and you're up here, and you've got to be able to get your club head up really quick. And my balance is all over the shot, but you know, he's got something to lean on and do the business. But the power you've got to put into it, you know, engage the banks of the club, get it up high, out of a steep bunker with, you know, all the pressure on you because it's not going your way at that particular time. He comes up with a good super clutch, isn't he? Rory McIlroy.
And as a player, when you leave your first shot in the bunker, what's the heart rate doing?
Well, his
because
heart rate.
he actually said to Harry when he hit that, he went, "No, I'm okay. Yeah. He was like, "No, I need to sort this out myself." Yeah,
he's a special talent. Harry's a good egg. I'm glad he's on the back.
Great
Harry.
relationship,
It's
isn't
a great relationship. I've known Harry for years. I have longer than probably
What's
I've known
his demeanour
Rory.
like?
Lovely, very cool, calm, collective, confident. A bit of a businessman on the sly. He was at a young age. Played for Ireland. stayed with me when I lived in Miami when I had my card, so I knew him well. We played a lot of golf together.
Did you?
Yeah, so I know Harry very well. Lovely young man. And I think it's a dream. I think it's a dream partnership. I really do. You know, I think it's. You know, Harry's one of those guys that will tell Rory the home truths. You know, he's a good friend.
Yeah.
You can lean on.
I'm just looking to my right because DJ Dustin Johnson is. He is off at 8:25 with Emiliano Grillo and Sahith Theegala. So just hearing that he's just arrived, he's gone to bay 12. But let's just concentrate a little bit on DJ. 3 over par 74 on day one.
Yeah, and I think that's why he's out on the range early doors. He's out here probably 20, 30 minutes prior to where he would normally be. And I think he's obviously there with Claude Harman III, Coach Harman's son, you know, going through a few little drills, trying to find something, a little tweak. It's not obviously working the way he would like it to be.
As they arrived on the range, it's a very early start this morning, George. I did say to him, if you have a personality, can you send one over my way?
So he's got plenty, he's a top man.
Yeah, and we spoke to Claude a couple of days ago, didn't we, about dividing his time between Dustin Johnson and Brooks Koepka, the guys that he coaches. And it's about keeping his players just in a great frame of mind. What did you notice that with that? What he just did there?
Just watching how different he's manipulating his ball flight. You know, last year when we were at St Andrews, you'd see Tiger come out onto the range and he would be just, every shot was completely different. And it looks like Dustin Johnson's doing exactly the same thing. Like now he's pulling out another club. Expect ball flight's different. The last two completely different. First one low, next one high, floaty, holding it up against the breeze, testing his might against the elements that he's going to have to face when he goes out there in a bit.
Let's see where this one goes.
It's good, isn't it?
It's one of the best spots to watch golf.
Wow,
ever.
look at that. Absolute piercing
What,
under
the
the
low
breeze.
stinger?
Oh yeah, that's a fairway finder.
And those are the kind of shots you need today with the wind.
We're at Linked Golf. This is a style you need all day long. I mean, we're going to get blustery, got heavy weather in front of us as well. It's supposed to brighten up a little bit.
Yeah.
But the wind's supposed to be gusting up to like nearly 25 miles an hour in places. So, you know, dictation on your ball flight is massive, Di.
It was just over about 10 miles an hour in the afternoon yesterday, so about 25 miles an hour. My goodness, that's a big difference. He wasn't happy with that one, was he?
Oh, we got a previous Open champion coming our way. Oh, two of them. Look at them coming in full throw.
And Ryder Cup captain as well, Zach Johnson, saying hello.
A Carnoustie champion and a St Andrews champion.
Yeah, Francesco Molinari is just to DJ's left, and we've got Zach, previous winner of the Open Championship up at St Andrews. Good to see them have a little bit of respite, a little bit of a giggle before they head out and get to business on the course. Ryder Cup, thoughts on the matchups between the European side and how the American side stand right now?
Oh, I think it's going to be seriously tightly contested. You know, I thought might be changing of the baton last year at Whistling, the other year in Whistling Straits, where the Americans were just unbelievable. I thought, oh my God, is this a thing of things to come? But the way they're going to set up Marcus Simone, you know, the talent on both sides, I really think it's going to be a hell of a battle.
Wonder what they're saying.
Can you pick me for the Ryder Cup, please?
Surely. Would you pick him? Morning, Zach.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't reply.
He's all right.
He's in the zone.
I'll get his eye in a minute.
Yeah, do you know what? It's that's a dynamic warm-up.
A few spots of rain coming down now, Di.
It started to rain. These guys are off. When is Zach Johnson off? Let me just have a quick look at my list. As we say, DJ, he's off with Emiliano Grillo and Sahith Theegala. 8:25.
Yeah.
Theegala was 79 yesterday. Grillo, as we said, 66, top of the leaderboard, with Johnson with that 74. Dustin Johnson, that is.
Yeah, look at
John
Johnson.
Daly, I'm just noticing, he's
John
off at
Daly.
9:03. We've never seen him on the range, have we? He's still not down here.
No, he won't hit any balls. He won't hit any balls.
He was a 77, 6 over par, obviously a par 71 this course. He's off with Taylor Moore and Danny Willett. Okay, we'll be back. We might get an umbrella, not too sure. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Follow the 151st Open in unrivaled detail on the open.com and the Open app. Go behind the scenes with Live at the Range from Monday to Sunday of Open Week.
Yeah, that was flush.
Track every shot hit at the championship and get real-time statistics with ShotView. Get minute-by-minute coverage on the go with Open Radio.
Well, jumping up and down. It's an unbelievable bunker shot.
Follow featured groups throughout each day of the championship and soak up all the action on the incredible 17th hole with the Par 3 channel. All streamed live on the open.com and the Open app. Get closer to the Open wherever you are.
Yes, day 2 getting started. Peter Finch, a little bit more weather on our way, a little bit more push with those flags, I think.
Yes, it is feeling very northwest of England this morning, isn't it? Wind is whipping in the normal prevailing direction, but as you can see there, the bobble hats are out, which probably tells you all you need to know about the temperature. It has dropped. It's going to be very, very tricky today.
Yeah, a quick look around the golf course this morning and much more wrapped up galleries, but they are still pounding in. It's been an amazing day one, was an amazing day one. A little bit more serious. He's so in it, isn't he? 5 under par. You would not be expecting that, I don't think.
No, I mean, he's a very solid player. I would have thought he'd have woke up this morning and hoped to put a bit of sun cream on and wander out to a beautiful sunlit links. It's a very different day that he's going to be facing this morning. But he's not a, he's a kind of, he's a very tenacious player. He's not the type of person who you'd expect to back up. So I don't really expect him, you know, no one really expects him to win, but I don't really expect him to fade away too much either.
No, it's one of those sort of rhythms. You can sort of see that. It's like, it's one of those sort of good wind weather rhythms. It's not a fast, there's almost like a constant tempo. It's not a flash of hands at the ball. And the way he finished off, he birdies 11, 12, 15, 17 and 18 to shoot 31 on the back nine for a 66. That's how you finish. Oh, here we go, worm cam, love this. Peter, take us through the swing. What do you think?
Yeah, very neutral in his setup. Quite a classical kind of position, really, before he hits. Like I said, tempo itself it's just nice and smooth. The action itself kind of coming through the ball. He's not a player who kind of hits the ball a long way, but he is a player who manages quite a high level of consistency.
Yeah, and also it's probably a temperament that's good for the links, right? It's like it can be frustrating. You could see Jon Rahm bubbling over with annoyance yesterday at his performance. So Emiliano Grillo has won in the calendar season on the PGA Tour.
Always a good sign when he's club twirling on the range as well.
I love that. So just going through his warm-up, pretty casual. You can see the guy's just sort of putting that ball up on like a little rugby tee just to make it look better. The links ground, Peter, compared to the lush fairways of the PGA Tour.
Yeah, if you haven't played links golf before, I mean, it is something that you definitely need to do, but it's a very different sensation when your club thuds into the turf and underneath is a nice solid layer of sand. The feeling and the sensation that you get is completely different, and the ball flights you can get are very different as well. You know, off links turf in the right conditions, you can off links turf in the right conditions, you can get it rolling 20 yards, or you can actually get it backing up 15 foot on the greens as well, because of that extra kind of just clean strike that you can get on the golf ball. And I think with the rain that's come up overnight, I think the actual backspin on the greens, that's going to be something which they're going to have to be aware of, because if you start to spin it around Hoylake, all those runoff areas, they come into play even more, because not only do you have to guard against a firm bounce, you've got to guard against the ball ripping back.
Yeah, the green sites are different. I was sort of walking around again last night, and it just sort of struck me like, you know, most links courses have a little bit of fall off from the greens, right? This is like everything's on turbo. It was like if you sort of look at the 17th hole, that's a hole you'd probably more likely see in America than you would see on any other links that I can think of.
Yeah, I mean the 17th is it's an outlier in many respects, isn't it? But the basis of it for Hoylake of all the runoff areas is consistent. I think finding the greens around Hoylake is difficult, but once you're on the greens, it actually becomes a little bit easier because the slopes are relatively gentle. There's nothing too crazy out there.
So Emiliano Grillo, let's see where, so DJ is probably on a, what do you think? Is DJ on a 4-iron there?
Yeah, 229, he's kind of moving into those long irons, probably 4's a good shout there, I think.
Right.
Grillo's probably still on his wedge there.
Yeah, Emiliano might be just at around like a wedge shot there, so here we go. The DJ fade. The DJ fade, though, on the left, on the dog legs left, right? That did not work out at all for him. I mean, he lost every single time. He lost it miles right. So he must try to, you know, that's got to be something he fixes today if he's going to have a chance.
It's difficult though, isn't it? Because if you are so predominantly one shape, and you know, let's be honest, these players are, you know, rather good. They can shape the ball both ways when asked. But DJ is so into his fade now that once he's faced with a right to left hole that requires that shape because the runoff and the camber on the fairway will kick the ball towards the bunkers, that's when he does struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
And you know, we've spoke about the tactics that you've got to use around Hoylake. It's not always a driver. You know, you can't just bomb it over the corners of these dog legs because the same issues continue further up the hole.
Yeah, and case in point was 14 yesterday for Dustin Johnson. You can see, you know, made a double from a big carve right on the dog leg. So,
I mean, it's possible what he's working on now, because he has got his fairway wood out that he's been clipping away for a while now, and you can see with the ball flights through top tracer here that it is actually a much straighter ball flight than you used to see.
Yeah, holding it into the right to left wind. Dustin Johnson, hands finishing down in that left hip pocket. Just looking at a bit of impact location there, I think. Dustin Johnson always hates a toe strike, doesn't he? So he's always working. His mistake is that he does get too far away from it, and then the toe strike is the one that's the flipper for him. So does trying to work in. Claude working a lot on posture for DJ. Does he like that? Is that a happy Dustin Johnson, would you say, Peter?
He's not the easiest guy to read, is he?
No, he's just thrown his club on the floor.
Was it a throw or was it a gentle toss? I think it was more like a throw, actually.
It was a. I would say there was a slight strop in there. Here we go. DJ into driver, and he will have to. You have to drive it very well around Hoylake, I think, Peter. We were sort of wondering if the driver was going to be an important club, and it's turned out to be probably one of the most important clubs.
Yeah, it's strange how quickly things can change. Obviously, with the wind picking up, conditions getting cold, and the rain coming down overnight, we're expecting a little bit more rain, potentially today, definitely tomorrow. Yeah, the big stick has all of a sudden become one of the most important clubs in the bag, and it's easy to forget sometimes that with a links course, especially this kind of venue, is 7,300 yards long. That's really long if the links is playing wet. You know, if it's dry, you can kind of like skim it down there with a driving iron and get it chasing. But if the ball's landing soft, 7,300 yards around this course is a tough track.
Yeah, it is. So Dustin Johnson going at it full beans, kind of pumping through it. So Dustin Johnson not too far away from his second day. He'll want to really improve upon what he did yesterday. He's at 3 over par. He's going to play with Sahith Theegala. We'll find him somewhere. He's 8 over par. He did not have a good day. But the man of the moment right there from Argentina is Emiliano Grillo, and he shot 5 under par with an unbelievable back 9. So been looking at his swing, and sort of you saw the flash fast speed of Dustin Johnson. This is a much more kind of even tempo swing, isn't it? And perhaps that's more suited Peter, for links play and controlling the wind.
I mean, when you actually look at the leaderboard and what went on yesterday, like the majority of those players, you wouldn't describe them as big hitters from 5 under all the way through to 2. There's a few big ones in at 1, but this course, it's playing a bit longer with the rain, but the key, and I think we've seen that a lot now after that first round, it really does show, you just got to keep it out of the bunkers. Like, you have to find fairways, and if you miss the greens, oh boy, do not go in these greenside bunkers. So if you have a technique which is a little bit more geared towards that consistency and control of ball flight rather than just pure distance, then you know this could be a course where you have an advantage, and it's starting to come a little bit clearer now.
So, all very good points. The fairway bunkers are like water hazards. 1-shot penalty. So, Emiliano Grillo, what an amazing first day for him. So, just going through, just a little lie angle double check. Does it feel like one's a little, maybe just feeling like he's hitting in that heel area there? It's interesting to have that as you think about that on before you go out on day 2 of the Open Championship.
Yeah, it might be a little bit late to fix anything there.
So 190 carry, I would say that for Emilio is probably his 5 iron.
It's a good worm cam. This worm cam is creeping ever closer as well.
Oh, this is the shot, isn't it? Look at this, you never get to see this. So, and opens up his body. So, very simple swing. It's almost like just a very nice clean posture, little bit of soft knees, bend from the hips. Let's have a closer look at it. And interesting that he keeps teeing up all those shots. You would have thought you'd be playing some, but he's teeing them up, make sure he can feel like he can launch them.
I mean, if you hit a fat on links turf, though, that's the worst, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you don't want that before you go out.
And then really just very calm. There's just to see, it's like there's no tension in there. You look at Dustin Johnson and you think, wow, this is a sportsman going to have a real go at this. This is just like a little, look at this. So here's your posture, up, down, hold the finish, little twirl. There it is.
There's a high chance he might not be moving too fast because the amount of lays he's got on. He's actually got a snood on. It's July, Simon.
I do think the
Where did he find that? Surely he wouldn't have packed that.
You know what? I think, though, because the Americans have got such a sort of a low opinion of our weather, right? And I mean...
Are they wrong?
And they're not wrong, not entirely wrong. And they do tend, I would say, to overdress in the cold. So, with woolly hat on, keeping himself warm.
I really wish I would have bought some shares in whatever that little device is that are hanging on the belt of 90% of the tour players, that little scrubby brush.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Tell you what, they've got that everywhere.
I can't believe you didn't have a go at that. So here we go. Longest drives of the day. Minwoo Lee, Gary Woodland, DJ. Pretty good. Callum Shinken, he's been out on the golf course. Dan also.
Yeah, that's pretty good this time in the morning as well.
It is, yeah.
It isn't warm by any means.
No. Emiliano just... Now, I believe this comes from Fred, our man Fred, who's just like the graphic maestro, like a modern day sort of a Picasso. It's very sort of fancy, isn't it?
I've heard the word wizard being used, Simon.
Yes.
Whispered in dark corners.
Yes. Yeah.
People pointing at me as he goes past.
Is that him? He who cannot be named. Okay. So, Fred, thanks for that. Here we go, Emiliano. Okay. So, going to have a film of this one. Caddy just filming it, just to see if it feels, it looks what it feels. Yeah. Looks and feels, Peter. Now, they don't often line correctly, do they?
No, I mean, if I was the caddy right now, I'd be saying, yep, looks great. Yeah, that looks like the kind of swing that's leading the Open to me.
Yeah, but Emiliano wants to have a look at it.
Don't look, put it away. Don't look. Don't do it. Oh, just let us have a look at your swing where you can't hear us. Don't you have a look. No, there's obviously something not quite feeling right there if he's having to check it at this point, but
So
I suppose everyone does have their own process, don't they, as they go through before the round.
Yeah.
Like I personally wouldn't want to be looking at my swing just before I go out, but
I think it's you go out probably in the warm-up part, right, with what you've got, you know, and you're probably not going, or just to see, like, hey, listen, this is a key thing in my swing. Am I there or not? Or, you know, he might have felt something, or he's working on something. He just wants to double check it. But for most parts, the hour before you go is probably pretty much a non-technical part. And when you come back in, it's a case of, okay, I want you to keep an eye on this, or I need to look at that. But Emiliano that seemed like a okay. That was like an okay. That's good. Or I think, don't you think there was like a there? Okay, so Emiliano
obviously feel he might be getting a little bit. He does have that tiny little shallow right at the start of his downswing, doesn't he? And then applies the turn. Maybe feels he's just getting a little bit stuck inside.
So in this group, going out at 8:25 this morning, which is in 24 minutes time, Sahith Theegala, who shot 8 over par. There he is.
Yeah, not a great day for Sahith. Had quite high hopes for him this week as well.
Yeah, it was just a sort of a scattering of bogeys, wasn't it? Bogeyed 1, 3 and 4. No, he got 2 doubles, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He doubled 3 and doubled 4, and then he just kind of you know, and he doubled 16 as well. So he was on double bogey duty yesterday. That's a hard day, isn't it? We met him though. He was absolutely delightful, wasn't he? What a lovely bloke. A bloke you'd want to vote for.
Oh, absolutely. One of the nicest guys that we've kind of spoke to over the last few days. Kind of very articulate with what he's saying as well. But yeah, it doesn't look overly happy. It's tough, isn't it? Once you start racking up the double bogeys, for these guys, it's terminal. You know, you can't. It's very hard to come back from.
Yeah, well, I just think you end up going out there knowing you've got to chase some shots, and maybe you take on a bit too much risk when you shouldn't take on. And the pins were rotten yesterday, weren't they? I mean, there was a pin on 3 that was hardly on the green.
And it is, yeah, like I say, if you do go chasing and you do find some of those bunkers, then you know you're in trouble. You know, we saw that with Justin Thomas. We saw that with Rory McIlroy, even though he managed to hit a fantastic second shot out of the bunker to manage that par on the final hole. I am very jealous of that kid right now.
Do you think that's is that like a little croissant?
It is, yeah.
Oh.
It's a very sophisticated breakfast.
Look at that. That's a pretty good seat, isn't it? That's not a bad deal. Look at that.
Should get him on. Get him to offer his analysis.
Well, I'll tell you what. Where's Di? Here we go. Hands low, long arms. So, little drop of the hands there. And then it's like a whip action at the top, isn't it? Up. Really hits it on a big lag.
Yeah, I was chatting to Colin Montgomery yesterday, and we were looking at Sahith's swing, and yeah, Colin's a big fan. Very long through the hitting zone. Quite a loopy action, isn't it? Like in comparison to Griot, it's quite a different type of way to swing the club.
Yeah, much more launched, 118, 120 feet of apex. Probably.
It's that type of swing where you could, you know, when people often ask, you know, how do these guys hit the ball so far with swinging so smoothly? It's the type of swing that could generate power very easily.
Yeah, so that little low hand, sometimes the knees flare out, the grip, left hand rotated a little bit more over the club.
Whips it through.
Yeah.
His
It's
beard
really
game
launched,
this week is
isn't it?
very sharp as well.
Yeah?
His beard game is very sharp.
Yeah.
Very well trimmed.
Here we go. How about that?
He didn't hang
wedge
around
to
long
driver.
there, did he? Wow.
Maybe he's not.
He's had enough.
Apparently he's thinking, my chances here, my game does not feel good. My chances after my 79 on day one.
I think Sahith has gone full-on 15 handicapper at the driving range here. A few wishes with an iron. Right, let's just get driver. I'll start battering it.
Yeah.
And I respect it.
Yeah, I 100%. It's the classic warm-up.
Absolutely.
Come flying into the car park, put your shoes on, 2 drives, 1 putt, off we go. Right, Sahith.
The only thing missing to bacon sandwich and a coffee here, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So, let's have a look at this. Watch the knees. It looks very rubbery. Lots of WD-40 in those joints.
Yeah, it's a nice position to be in when, like, one of your warm-up drives, you can just smooth the 170 ball speed out. I'd expect that to creep up towards 180 by the time he leaves.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of hands off the golf club. Oh, wow, that is quite literally off the planet left. Oh, wow, that is on the car park.
So he's embarrassed by that one. God, give me another one in case someone...
Oh, wow.
Because what happens is that goes up on the big screen.
That has gone through the window of a Fiat 500 driving in.
Okay, so Sahith misses the driving range.
So far left there, wow.
Here we go. Let's see if he can improve on that. All right, come on, Sahith. It's almost like it goes up, almost like a bit of Garcia at the top, like a held away and then narrows, boom.
Yeah, there's definitely something not right there. I mean, one of the issues with having a long, languid action, and he's almost skied that one. So he's gone from having a massive hook to something really high, quite toey there by the looks of it. Having a long, languid action, if something does go awry, it's sometimes hard to pinpoint exactly what it is. So.
Yeah, it is very loose, isn't it? So he's got the snapper as one option. He's got the sky 162 feet of apex. Look at the one like that. This is going to be one. Where is Fred when we need him? Because this is going to be one of the best 7 or 8 drives with the biggest variety. So let's have a look. Is that a little smoother? It doesn't quite look balanced, does it?
No, that's a
slice.
slice.
The big carve.
Yeah, This is going to
be. This is Fred's dream series of 6 or 8 balls to see this. There could be 100 yards of difference between the right one and the left one.
Yeah, and the ball pickers are going to be using up quite a lot of diesel this morning trying to collect all these. It's a little bit difficult to. It's difficult for Sahith right now, isn't it? Obviously, because he's had a bad round yesterday. You can see he's not there with his swing. He's struggling a little bit. Yeah, how do you get yourself ready to go out and play on a course where we've already spoken about how penal it can be if you are offline off the tee, if you are finding those fairway bunkers?
Yeah, I think you can almost just, well, you go out dreading the day, don't you? I think you go out sort of like, okay, just trying to, maintain your pride in your performance. So, Sahith battling the tee shots. Let's see if he can stabilize something. It's a big swing, but that looks as though, again, he's mishit that in the face.
Yeah, as far as like ball speed and carry there, that's way below what you'd be expecting from Sahith.
So interesting to see, isn't it? This is how it is for us when you go out there and you're going to go and play an amazing golf course and you wake up in the morning, you feel amazing, and your swing has gone.
A little bit straighter off there. I think with Sahith as well, and this goes for all kind of tour pros here as well. Obviously, during a tournament, we've got 140 odd players at the Open this week. We're not going to be seeing all of them because all of them aren't going to be playing perfect golf. golf is an incredibly hard game, and this just goes to show that, you know, one of the very best, you know, they can have a bad week. You know, it's not a case that they're out there hitting a 66 every week.
No, and interesting, it's like hit a few 8-irons, hit a half a dozen drivers, a couple of wedges, you know, and not long before he heads out there.
Yeah, now he's off. I think for Sahith today, this is going to be very much a let's go out there and see what happens. Let's see if I can kind of get comfortable actually on the tee and on the course.
I'm thinking he shoots 4 under par on the front 9, having not missed a shot.
Wouldn't that be the most golfy thing ever?
Yes.
That would be the most golfy thing ever.
It's nearly a certainty. That's the walk of a man who's just about to shoot a course record.
I mean, if you are walking out there and you do have very low expectations, it can help. But at the same time, if you hook sky and slice one, that's not going to put you in the right frame of mind, is it? Come on, Sahith.
Yeah, come
Show
on,
us what you
Sahith.
got.
Yeah, out with Dustin Johnson and Emiliano Grillo at 8:25. So the flags are frisky. The weather is, let's say, deteriorating a little bit. We're down at the driving range. Oh, here we go. Looking at his forward there.
I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark and say this is one of the Argentinian amateurs in the field.
I'll tell you what. That's a
strong bag, isn't it?
It's a strong name, isn't it? It's a proper name.
Yeah. Golfer by day, international spy by the evening.
I like that. And he shot 6 over par. So one of our 6 amateurs.
It must be, what do you think for the amateurs? I mean, it must be quite inspiring to be able to kind of wake up in the morning and see one of your peers at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah. So Grant, Berry, Francesco Molinari in the middle. Sahith. So how is Sahith feeling right now?
He's looking pretty relaxed.
Look at the lads there. So how are you playing?
Relaxed.
Absolute rubbish. How are you playing? Disaster. Never hit it worse. Have a great day.
Again, a very golf-free conversation to have, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's just, well, look at Sahith. He's like, I can't believe I just hit a car in the car park.
That's right. Yeah.
It's like we've all been there before. Don't worry about it.
So amazing. Francesco Molinari won the Open in amazing style at Carnoustie.
Yeah, it's one of those players I really expected to kind of make a bit of a resurgence this year with the Ryder Cup in Italy, but hasn't quite happened.
So one of the most popular moves in pro golf, the semi-set a la Justin Thomas.
Oh, there's a lot of not happy people out there on the driving range this morning.
So
yeah, it is tricky, kind of. Certainly this time in the morning, it's a little bit early. You know, we're all human. There's not very many people who wake up limber and loose. But also with the weather, with it being chilly and with that wind kind of whipping across, you can just feel a little bit more withdrawn into yourself. You know, your swing isn't as loose, as free.
yeah, I think also
the
the golf course is intimidating. It's out there. It's just behind you. It's worse weather, and the tee shots are tough. The chipping is tough. The control of the ball is tough. And if you don't feel you feel like the golf course has got you, it's got you around the throat. It's like it's tough. Oh, lefty.
Here he is.
Brian Harman. Now, I can't remember when it was, but a wise old sage was on Live on the Range, and he was talking about people who had the best chances. I think, Peter, that might have been you.
Yes, you know what?
Now, why did you pick out so early? I mean, was that Tuesday, Brian Harman?
Yeah, it was. I mean, we did So do a podcast, and one of my guys, Jacob, he crunches the numbers, does all like the stats of the players, and there was the usual suspects. Obviously, Tommy was up there, and Rory and all the rest of it. But Brian Harman snuck into the list of the top 10 players to watch for this week. For whatever reason, his game.
What was the area of his game that was highlighted?
So he wasn't the top of anything.
No,
but he was near the top of everything.
How interesting.
So, and on links golf and around this course as well, as we've kind of mentioned already with some of these leaders, it's not just based around the distance that you hit it. You have to be able to plot. And Brian Harman is sneakily one of the best putters in the game.
Yeah, that's
the only reason people don't think Brian Harman isn't one of the best putters is because the putter he uses looks so horrific.
Well, it's like a video taped on the end of a stick, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like
it's just
an
like
old
a massive slab. Right. But whatever works. This is golf.
Yeah, it might be really stable, so it is interesting.
Yeah, Brian Harman.
And it's difficult because when you're a medium hitter and you play golf on the PGA Tour, there's just so few chances probably for you to really win. Right?
Yeah,
It's like there must be, how many golf courses where you actually go, you know what, I've got an equal chance here?
Yeah, it's only the courses that kind of get really baked out, or if it's something which is very strategic, like it is this week. But again, with Brian, we spoke about what the rain might do. Obviously, it's going to make the course longer and longer now. So, can he stick around? The numbers would suggest he could, but
yeah. Well, he's had pretty good form. I mean, he was, tied second at the RSM. Played decent.
Let's see what it's like when he actually gets up to his
Shriners.
driver this morning as well, because he does have some sneaky ball speed.
Yeah.
He's practicing next to Tristan Lawrence there, of course, a winner in Germany this year. Well, multiple winner this year.
Yeah.
Actually.
But I mean, I suppose if you're like a medium hitter, let's say, but you're you hit the ball quite low by your nature. If you're coming here, you almost feel like, okay, you know what, I've got a bit of a chance here. I mean, when you go and stand on the first tee of the Masters and you're 50 yards behind the other guy you're playing with, you think, oh dear, I'm going to have to be amazing in every other part. It puts a lot of pressure on you. So I mean, this might be a little bit of a course, a little bit of a tournament where he feels, okay, you know what, this is the one major I've got a chance of winning.
I mean, listen, this is the Open. This is forged by nature, and every now and again people's games are forged by their competition. So yes, he doesn't hit it as far as some of his peers, but that means it's going to put more pressure on your wedges and your putting, and some players might not be able to cope with that, but Brian Harman has that game, so he can lean into that a little bit, like rely on it a little bit as well.
It's interesting hitting at lots of different flags, just kind of like picking a shot, feeling the shape, not trying to hit the same pattern. You can see like very much a feel, one hand on, one hand off, back in.
Yeah, it's just going through a routine, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a great, honestly, this is a great thing to do if you are going to the driving range. Something that everybody can use. Don't just go there and hit to the same target time after time again, because that's not how golf works. So what Brian's doing here before he goes out, he's not getting into a block practice session. He's picking targets, he's trying to hit different shots, different shapes, and it's a great way to prepare. It is one of the most confusing things what happened to Brian Harman's hair, though. Did you notice this?
I missed this, but give me the scoop. What are you thinking?
So 4 years ago, Brian Harman had the best flow on tour. Like, his hair was magnificent. I don't have any...
I'm not sure if I followed this as closely as you, so this is really quite illuminating.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Honestly, it was like, it was Tommy Fleetwood-esque. It was beautiful. And then all of a sudden, he turned up and shaved it all off.
Oh dear.
It's quite a shock.
Justin Parsons behind him. So we will leave Brian for a few minutes. So actually, we're going to stay. We'll stay. We were going to go. We won't. We'll stay. So here we go. We'll take a little break and we'll be back in a moment.
We're told that the weather forecast for today is kind early on, with the possibility of some wet weather later.
I think Mother Nature kicks it up another notch.
Quite extraordinary. What a moment.
Good morning, guys. We've made it out on course and we're joined by Grant Moyer from the RNA Rules team. Grant, we had a lot of conversations last year at St Andrews, always an exciting time. How's this week been setting up Royal Liverpool?
Yeah, terrific. Yeah, things are going really well. We had a really good day yesterday. Of course, was challenging, but some players obviously achieved great things. But slightly windier today, same direction. So, I mean, again, I think it's going to prove a real test for the players this morning.
This feels like typical links golf conditions right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of not very warm, a bit cloudy, a bit windy, sort of damp in the air. But yeah, it really does feel like a typical linksy day.
There's a bit of action going on behind you. Can you talk us through, I guess, briefly what you do on every green and how this whole process works each morning?
Yeah, well, obviously the principal thing we're doing each morning is getting the hole position cut where we have it on the sheet, which is distributed to all the players and caddies, etc. But then we're also looking at the hole positions for Saturday and Sunday, the forecasted wind directions, how all of that might work out, and as you know, the plan can be adjusted depending on the weather. So we're scoping the weekend now once we've put the tee in the ground for today's hole position.
How much have you enjoyed being back at Royal Liverpool? Are there pins that you remember from 2014 and the little changes that you're enjoying bringing into the mix this year?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the places that we use on the greens inevitably are similar to where we've been before, but there's no doubt that you find some new options. There's obviously been some changes to the course, not just 17, but 4th greens changed, 7th greens changed, some green extensions. So yeah, there's always new things to look out for when you come back to an open venue.
How many opens have you clocked up now? You must have a few under the belt. You always get excited at this time of year?
Always get excited at this time of year, and yeah, I wouldn't like to tell you how many opens I've done.
And what time are you guys up and at it to make sure all this prep's done before everyone gets on course?
Well, we're in here for about 4:30. We meet the guys, the green staff on the first green around about 10 to 5. Can't start much earlier than that because there's not much daylight. So that's when we get going.
Nice. And you're happy with how the course looks? Obviously a lot of rain before the Open, so it's a lot greener than we maybe have in the past.
Yeah, well, look, as it says, we're forged by nature, which we've been. Clearly, there was a drought in May. We thought we were going to have a brown and fast golf course, and then the rains came, and now we've got a greener golf course. But you know, it's playing really, really well, and it just sets up as a different challenge. The rough is tricky, the bunkers are difficult, and yeah, it's proven to be a really good test.
Nice, Grant. Well, thank you very much for your insight. We'll try to catch up with you throughout the weekend and see where those pins are going to be, but best of luck to you and your team this week.
Thanks, George. Appreciate it.
Perfect. All right, we'll leave Grant to it. Always surveying every angle of these greens. It's such a fastidious job, and every millimetre, every angle counts. It's great to see them at work. These guys need to get all of these things bang on. And this hole, I'm not going to step on the green, but the hole is cut beautifully, a little bit of a paint job, looking glorious. Just triple checking every little movement. Every blade of grass here at the Open Championship is spot on. But as we mentioned during the interview, typical links conditions out here. For my sake, I hope it doesn't get much worse. Otherwise, I'll be running for cover. But it's going to be a fun day's golf to watch to see how these guys handle it.
Yeah, we are live at the range. Peter Finch. Interesting to see, fascinating to see the course and the preparation that goes into it. There's Danny Willett with Peter Cowan. Be a bit disappointed, I'd say, with his performance yesterday, Peter.
Yeah, it's interesting with Danny, isn't it? You know, we're talking major champion, multiple winner on tour. Just been a bit indifferent over the last few years, hasn't it? It's not quite hit the heights that he would have hoped for,
but amazing sort of flow to his career, or no flow to his career, where you go Masters champ, wins the BMW. I mean, when he wins, he picks out some big tournaments to win, but it's just there's the troughs from the peaks are surprising. Do you not think?
Yeah, they are. I mean, in some respects, it's not actually a bad way to go about things, is it? I mean, if you can stick your wins to, you know, the biggest events, that's generally what you'll be remembered for, isn't it? So
Masters champion, be there forever.
And you know, he's 35. He's not by any means an old guy yet. So you know, he still has a good part of his career ahead of him, and his game's never been based on power either. So
no.
Excellent putter, one of the best green readers I've ever played with, Danny.
Do you remember the chip shot he hit on 17 in the Masters?
Yes, absolutely.
That is like trying to stop a ball halfway down the bonnet of your car, and he did it. Amazing shot. So Danny Willett heading out at 9:03. He's 2 over par, so he will need a steady day today, I think. Do you feel the scoring will be difficult today, I think, Peter?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Danny is he's a decent links player. He's made the cut in the last 7 opens. His best finish is tied 6th, so he can play around links. And it's so hard to understand kind of what's going to happen this morning, because the forecast has changed. It was meant to be a relatively sunny day today, very similar to yesterday, and that has altered very quickly. Yes, I'm afraid we've just had word from the course that our predictions about Sahith's form today may be coming true, as he hooked a massive shot off the first tee as well.
Yeah, it's hard. He just didn't look as though he had a pattern of shots. I mean, it's like if you've got at least a duff that's one side, but he had the massive flare right and the snapper. So I mean, that's a really difficult combo. Like, so.
Well, listen. Let's hope his short game's in order.
Yeah.
Come on, Sahith, we're still with you.
Yeah.
Danny Willett here, probably working on his probably a little knockdown 8 iron there. 158 yards carry, potentially a 9. That's more of a 9-9 swing, isn't it? Those last 3 balls of his, though, again, landed pretty much next to each other. 158 carry.
Yeah, it's interesting. That we saw Brian Harman like hit it all over the place, played lots of different shots. Danny Willett much more regimented, like sort of following a pattern, trying to stabilise it.
He's a very structured guy, isn't he, Dan? He's very, very methodical.
Super structured, yeah. And it's so funny. It's like you know, when are we off? 9:03. But when are we off again? We're off at 9:03. It's 9:03. What time's it now? 8:29. And then 2 shots. What time's it now? It's 8:30, Danny. Yeah, but that's the stress, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I would be relying very much on my caddy to get me to the tee on time. So
yeah,
I'd be relying on my caddy to get me out of bed, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, and the coffee. Quite grumpy without a coffee. I didn't realise that, but that's fine.
I'm not grumpy. I'm just inoperable.
Okay, yeah. So you operate on it.
Yes,
it's fine.
Basically,
totally fine.
Yeah, you want.
So it's been a very busy week. People pounding in. Look at that.
I think one of the best things about the Open Championship is the fans, is the supporters. There was.
Oh, they make the tournament.
Oh well, I mean, I saw a I saw a piece on it was on Twitter yesterday. I can't remember who actually mentioned it, but when you hear a player strike a shot on a links course, it obviously sounds different. But when you hear the reaction to that shot, you instantly know that it's an Open Championship.
Yeah.
You instantly know, because there's no kind of crazy shouts as people hit generally, and then the appreciation of a good golf shot it's just something which is quintessentially Open. It's a fantastic. It's just a fantastic event to be at, and the fans really, really do make it. God, I was going down a little emotional rabbit hole then. I was getting really into that.
The fans are massive.
My apologies, I'll rein it in.
No, you crack on. That was beautiful. Yeah, the knowledge of the crowd. Tom Watson always used to say, the Americans always used to come over and say the most knowledgeable crowds in golf, Nicklaus, Watson, all of those guys. Seve used to love playing at the Open. This was the site of his last Open. Can you believe that? 14. Bless Seve. Anyway, so Danny Willett has hit probably 10 shots with the same club, absolutely on that little dot there.
Yeah. Put it away, Dan. It's working.
Yeah. So not.
That rain is really starting to come down
It
across
is, isn't it? Yeah.
It does show the difference, though, like where we are in our comms tower, as I'll call it, here a little bit away from the driving range. The rain isn't actually hitting us, and yet only what?
Yeah.
600 yards away. It's kind of coming down. That's links golf. Sunny on the 10th and raining on the 1st.
Yeah. I think the players embrace the conditions. You know, the weather has a bad reputation, doesn't it? So you can catch little squalls. I remember being at Muirfield and Tiger got hit by a squall on like a 6 holes and just wiped him off the golf course. So there we go. That is actually a smiley face. That is Pete Cowan's imitation of a smiley face. That is about as happy as you get. I had dinner with him last night, chatting about all the things in golf and what have you. He is a great man.
Yeah, he's fantastic to talk to, Pete. He's definitely one of those coaches who he lets his work do kind of the talking for him. You know, he doesn't really come out too much and explain about what he thinks about the golf swing or anything like that. But when you talk to him about the swing, when you talk to him about the players he's working with, the insights are fantastic.
Yeah. What I love is that he can easily be the first guy on the range and easily be on the last guy on the range every single day, and he's absolutely loves it. So one of our iconic coaches in golf, but coaches anywhere, Pete Cowan, with his guys, just getting them ready. And the person in question, Danny Willett, Masters champ, just threading a few shots there. So here we go. We've got this magnificent new camera. We've called it Worm Cam. So here we go. Gives you a view of the players from a view you'd never see.
Yeah, look at that ball there. I don't want to kind of scare the camera crews, but I have seen many a tour pro practicing their 30-yard chips at these. There it is.
There it is.
It does look like a solid piece of kit, that, doesn't it?
I just hope that no one's, of course, look at that.
Oh, it's become self-aware.
It'd almost be like a, what was the name of that little chap? Like what? Do you remember Wally?
Wally, yeah.
Wally. Yeah,
oh, there we go. Hello.
Oh, amazing. Beautiful. Or a minion. It's like one of the minions.
Oh no! Don't look, you've upset it now.
Oh, it's gone. It's showing off. That's it.
It's looking for a way to escape. Can I get out there?
Here we go.
Oh,
it's given us some great shots.
Yeah, I love it.
Now it's just showing off, isn't it? Here we go. So, have you had a thought about the cut, Peter?
Honestly, like yesterday, we were talking about what the winning score would be, and I'd say probably mid-teens. I'm probably going to retract that a little bit and say more towards kind of 11, 12 now.
Yeah.
As far as the cut, honestly, I'm really not sure. I think it could move towards 2 or 3.
Yeah, so 66th place at 2 over, 87th place is 3 over. Would you say that conditions, I mean, you could almost have it as a 4 to 5 cut? Could you see that? If it's more difficult today?
The reason I'm finding it really difficult is because of what's happened yesterday with the bunkers. Even if the conditions are tough, obviously, which they are, if you find a bunker, you're adding shots onto your score so fast, so quickly.
Danny Willett shots. Interesting, Danny Willett much more linear at one place. Thomas. So Taylor Moore, much more varied.
Taylor Moore's been around, trying to hit a shot to every target on the range by the looks of it there. Danny Willett, like you said, very much along the same line.
Yeah.
Probably working on some last wedge. You'd imagine with the amount of shots that have been hit there, he would have gone up to his driver. Now he's worked back to his wedges.
Yeah.
There are a few players who use that as a bit of a tactic. I'm not sure particularly the reason why, but
I hope he's not aiming at a worm cam.
no, he's using it. No, he's hitting it over worm cam. Oh, there we go, switching targets. But a few players have been aiming at them. But
I suppose they're a natural target.
yeah, but their carbon fiber construction makes them hardy.
Kevlar, bulletproof. Here we go. Pretty clean action.
Yeah, so he's just working around those short range flags there with the wedge. Just those little half swing wedges.
Yeah. Kind of arms stay out of it, kind of just connected to his chest, which is just sort of turning back and turning through. So watch how still he is there. Just really very balanced, narrow, very narrow stance.
Yeah, we'll see it throughout the day live at the range. Obviously, we're here looking at the players using their full swing techniques, but we have the short game areas as well. So it is one of the things I do recommend players, kind of golfers who are coming to the Open, to get to the short game area as well and watch them, because the chances are, you know, if you go watch Rory at the range, it is very impressive, but well, you're never going to swing like Rory.
Yeah, yeah.
Get around the short game areas, because some of the techniques on show there and the way that they play the shots around the green are just, it's fantastic to watch, and you can learn so much.
Yeah, you've got sort of like the, oh, how about that? A mono brolly. A sort of a hat. It's a hat.
Yeah.
Do you think that will catch on?
I mean, it's...
Do you think that works on a links day?
No.
It's not quite a broad enough...
No, I think with a big enough brolly, you could probably take off on a links day with that.
Yeah.
Someone's going to have to introduce into a hood, I think.
Yes. So... nice view of the players. Players just getting ready for day 2 of the Open. Now, what's in there?
Oh, if that isn't a cold bacon sandwich with tomato ketchup, I'd be shocked. Has to be.
Let's have a look. Well, it's very delicately opening that.
This might be one of the most exciting things to happen.
Oh,
he's double wrapped. Wow.
Oh, now I'm thinking.
Now it's triple wrapped. This is incredible.
Peanut butter and jelly, I'm thinking now.
No. Yeah. That's true. If there's a lot of insulation in there, maybe it has kept warm from this morning. Depends where they've come from. He's got an LFC hat on, so he must be local. It is. It's a bacon sandwich. 10 points for the team. There we go.
With ketchup, well played. That's sort of top snacking, that, isn't it? Top snacking. So. So some of the gallery yesterday had to go through a quick Q&A with Di, and the winners, I think, are playing Birkdale today and tomorrow. How about that? They won a free tea time courtesy of Royal Birkdale, which is a magnificent golf course.
Yeah, you could see in their eyes they were very, very excited to be going over there today.
They will. Won't be too long before we're back at Birkdale, Peter.
Yeah, I think 3 years.
So Royal Troon next year going to have had a lot of changes.
I mean, we've got quite the run, haven't we? We've got Troon, we've got Portrush, and then at Birkdale.
Yeah.
They are some fantastic golf courses.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. That is, now I can tell you that is a Joel Powell Persimmon driver, and John Morgan will not be too far away. Persimmon drivers. I have ordered a Persimmon driver. So, yeah, used to be a proper weapon. John bringing Persimmon back to the game.
Yeah, it's useful. 2 months. Yeah. Apparently it takes 2 months to make one of these golf courses.
Yeah, from a proper block of Persimmon, ground down, control the loft, control the launch.
Yeah.
Just a different feel, so.
Absolutely. I think John was talking more about a lot of these players using them as a bit of a train aid, a bit of fun. I don't think he's trying to get you into stick it in his bag for the round.
No, I don't think that's going out there, but it is amazing. Rory McIlroy had a go at it last week, and probably, I think it was about 45 yards shorter than his modern club, so.
Only 320 yards though.
Yeah, I know, it's unbelievable, isn't it? So.
Ewan Ferguson looking very relaxed, actually. Very good golfer. Leaning into the Ricky Fowler look as well.
Yeah. Just working through a few wedges, clipping them off.
There we go, back to Wormcam, having a look through. Umbrellas are slowly coming down. The wind's moving it through nicely.
Yeah, he had a really good success on DP World, Qatar Masters. Birdied the last.
Yeah, it was a good win, that, wasn't it? It was, I seem to remember quite a few exceptional short game shots coming in.
Yeah, he's had 2 wins, so.
3 over at the moment. I think hopefully looking for something a little bit lower today, because I think that probably will be around the cut mark come the end of play.
Yeah, next guy's going out, so it's 8:43. That's going to be Brian Harman, Tristan Lawrence, Thomas Detry. Then John Daly, who didn't quite make it to the range this week, he's out with Taylor Moore, Danny Willett.
So he didn't quite make it. I think he actively avoided, would be the way to phrase it.
Yeah, so.
Each to their own.
Yeah, Ewan is going to go out with Adrianos and Ketia Nakajima. So some guys with work to do. David Lingmuth played well. Under par.
Big fan of David Lingmuth's swing, actually. Another kind of very compact player. Massive legs.
Yeah. Yeah, very strong. So Ewan, shades on. Crucial to keep the balls dry. You see the caddies drying the balls before they throw them over so the ball doesn't touch the ground. Do not want to have wet on the face or on the ball, really.
Yeah, a little bit of water getting stuck between the ball and the face can produce some funky numbers. Generally takes a bit of spin off. Cause the ball to fly. A fairway flyer is a rather annoying thing to have, so. He was definitely leaning into the Ricky comparisons as well. He responded to being called a knockoff Ricky. Said he loves it.
Ah, it's great.
Yeah, there's a nice picture of them both circulating yesterday.
Yeah.
It's just working through and up the bag again. What you'll generally see with the players on the range, they'll start with their shorter clubs. They'll have a warm up in the morning, probably most likely in the gym. And then they'll work up through the wedges to their woods, and then may just drop back down at the end as well to a few wedges before heading over to the chipping green, putting green, and then off to the first hole where the real action begins. Okay, let's go past Pete Cowan there. We're just going to take a quick break before returning live to the range.
We are live at the range. Players getting ready. Morning wave heading out. Continuous flow of tee times throughout the day. For some of the guys, quite a lot of work to do. So I'd say that is probably Keita Nakajima.
Yeah, that is.
He's one over par. He's playing with Ewan, and who we've just looked at, and Adrian Arnous, who was a massive power hitter but did not manage his power very well. He's 11 over par. So
powered it into trouble a lot yesterday.
It's a nice action with a great finish.
Don't worry, folks, does it all the time.
Here we go. Teeing it up.
So most likely practicing a few longer irons off the tee.
Great par threes here. You like the 13th?
13th's probably my favourite hole.
Yeah.
I think it's just a beautifully well designed hole. There's lots of different ways to play it. It's tricky on the eye, the way that the green sits across the place, wind generally off the left hand side as well, where the beach lies. I think it's just a great hole. Just a really good hole.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful looking hole. So that was better. He's just having a look across the left side there, just to see the data that's provided on our huge dashboard. Live at the range has got top tracer technology. There it is. There's the dashboard. So you can just see the numbers. So just sort of seeing how the ball is flying. Mickelson's out there, Lingmuth, Griffin, and Ewan. Mickelson firing another wedge down there. Then you've got the game starting. So the communication as you go around the golf course is amazing to the players, to the gallery, like who's coming up, where they are. There's a lot of fantastic communication out there. There's TV cameras showing you what's going on around the rest of the golf course, or screens, I mean. So.
Yeah, it's important, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, the fans are what actually make tournaments like this. You know, it's for them that these golfers are, you know, performing, if you want to look at it like that. And like we already mentioned how good the crowds are, but the infrastructure around Open Championships is always some of the best of any golf tournament you go to, because it often has to be. Because if you think about Royal Liverpool, you know, back when it was designed in the 1800s, they weren't really thinking about a couple of 100,000 people walking through there. So, you know, the actual walkways and everything around the tournament has to be regimented to the last degree, and they've done such a good job.
I agree, and I think what is amazing is you have these sort of like little towns, and they're around these amazing golf courses. St Andrews has the ability to absorb whatever our big circus is at 500,000 people. This area here around Liverpool, West Kirby, Hoylake has just absorbed, again, all these people. It's just magnificently done, and the hospitality we've had when we've been here has been incredible.
Yeah, I think a lot of the old courses, so you got your Troon, you got your Royal Liverpool, St Andrews, obviously. When they're set like just to the side of a town, the atmosphere that week is always fantastic.
Yeah,
you know, it's always a time of the year when, you know, even I don't mind being sociable.
Oh, you're just like you're a cuddly bear. Right, here we go. So, Wormcam, who do we pick up? Nakajima.
Yeah, Nakajima's just managed to hit 2 drives again, pretty much on top of each other at that 300 board.
Here we go, let's have a look. It's a clean action, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice. Just hit a little cut back to the same point. They're holding it up against the wind, and yet again,
little lower.
Fantastic. Wow, all my money on Nakajima.
On a string.
Yeah, you can't quite tell though. So when I was watching Rory on the range yesterday and he was hitting drives away, seriously just one of the most impressive things you ever see when he starts smashing it down there. 327 carry.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, okay, he's going to go out and shoot the lights out.
Yeah.
You know, slice
yeah.
of the first few holes.
Yeah.
It's just, it is different. And this is why I always kind of recommend players going to different targets on the range before they go out, because as soon as you get out to the course, as soon as you're faced with different challenges, it looks a lot different.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, you don't want to be just sort of hitting to one target. When you're practicing maybe, but maybe there's a different warm-up. So, yeah, Rory McIlroy fans. I mean, I was stressing it because he was, what, 2 over after 12 and got it back to level. I thought Rory fought hard yesterday.
I think the fist pump at the end showed it all, didn't it?
Yeah.
You know, fist pumping for a par on a par 5. But, you know, in an Open, there's a lot of golf to be played. And around this course, honestly, going into those last 3 holes, no score is safe.
No.
You know, if you're 5 ahead going into those last 3 holes, there will still be moments where you're a little bit nervous because, like, disaster does await.
Yeah. So, on the right side, Adri Arnaus, one of the longest hitters, absolutely pumps it out there, but his Open looks to be really in jeopardy. It'd be a miracle for him to really make the weekend. 11 over par yesterday.
It would be the round of a lifetime if he's to make the cut, I fear.
Let's have a prediction at the cut. You're going to go 4 over or 3 over?
I'm going to go 3.
Okay.
I'm going to go 3. I'm going to stay positive.
I like that. I'm going to go 4. Should we have a sleeve of golf balls as a small wager?
Yeah. I mean, how about we'll grab one of those baskets at the end of the week from the range. We're going to have, have one of those on there.
So, Nakajima has hit a bunch of frozen ropes.
Yeah,
very impressive, right? Nice looking swing.
Well, 175 ball speed with a 302 carry, those kind of numbers, that's optimal launch.
It certainly is.
To get that carry from that ball speed, so.
Very interesting. So I think we are going to head down to the range and hopefully find Di Stewart. Di, what have you got?
Oh, good morning, Simon. We are buzzing on day 2 of the Open. Here with Jamie Goff, who coaches a few players, and John as well. John's been keeping me company. We've had 14 coffees so far. How many have you had, Jamie?
15,
yeah. We're all flying here, aren't we?
Sharp. Yeah, we're all ready.
Great stuff. Now, are you coach, first of all, Ewan Ferguson, who is on the range. 74 from Ewan yesterday. What did he say about his round?
He was quite disappointed, but being his first major, he was... he understood, and he looked around some of the scores around him and saw some great players' names, and he went, okay, maybe I didn't do that badly.
I mean, it's a tough test out here, isn't it? How did he find the wind, the conditions yesterday on day 1?
I think he struggled a little bit in the crosswinds, because they were really tricky, and it's hard to hit greens in crosswinds, so he battled a little bit with that, but hopefully today a little bit better. Had a good warm-up, so ready to go.
Oh, well, I saw it. It was a dynamic warm-up. John, you've seen a lot of Ewan this season and the last couple of seasons. What have you made of him, and what kind of player is he?
Great work
What
ethic.
kind of job has Jamie done?
Well, he does a stellar job. I mean, all his players are absolutely playing great golf. You've got, Ryan Fox, the mighty Ryan Fox, who hits at a country mile, Ewan Ferguson. I mean, no stone unturned. Joost Luiten coming back into form. That's the result of Jamie Goff's, work ethic and skills on the range, working with their swings. But Jamie, I was going to ask you, I mean, going back to Ryan Fox as well, I mean, he lost his ball on 18. How did he lose that?
Yeah, I think he got a bit unfortunate because he hit it up the right side. He wasn't out of bounds, and it ran across the fair. It wasn't a great tee shot, to be fair, but when they got there, they couldn't find the ball. So it had
That's pretty unusual, isn't it?
Run up against, underneath the grass, and it was a bit unlucky, I think,
Down a little rabbit hole or something like that?
Just disappeared. The grass sort of lies over a little bit, and it's run underneath, and it's gone.
I was also going to ask you, Joost Luiten, coming into some nice form, suits a nice little drawers, game out here at Hoylake. How's he making of the golf course, and how are you thinking he's going to fare?
I think he'll do all right. I mean, we've worked quite hard on lowering his ball flight, and he's got some more penetration on his flight. But, to be fair, he hits the ball so straight. So, he's one of those guys who I'm going to touch wood and say really misses a fairway, but he's such a wonderful ball hitter. So this place is right up his strata.
Good man, Jamie.
Yeah, just thinking about the lost ball from Ryan Fox yesterday on 18. He ended up with a quadruple bogey.
Made an eight on the last.
Maybe your luck.
Yeah, I saw. I mean, that 18th was quite troublesome for quite a few of the players, including Justin Thomas. I think his was a 9 yesterday. He finished at 11 over, didn't he?
The tricky part about that is if that ball's a yard or two left, it's always hindsight, but you can get it on the green and make a 4, and you've shot 3 over, and you go to bed and you go, okay, I didn't do that badly. You make an 8, and all of a sudden you're 7 over, where you haven't, I'm not going to say a hell of a lot wrong, but you haven't done much wrong.
That's it. I mean, the margins are just so tight, aren't they?
Incredibly tiny.
Yeah.
I mean, with the bunkers as well. I mean, you look at the bunkering and the ball rolls just into the front of it, and you've got no shot. Runs into the middle, and you can get it up and down. So the margins are so fine that you need a little bit of fortune in links golf, but for the most part, you still got to play well.
Because Ryan, for most of his round, would have just been plodding along, and then suddenly that happens.
Well, he didn't have his best stuff in the middle of the round yesterday. He started really well, and then you missed the green on 6, didn't get up and down, and all of a sudden you start feeling like, well, you're under a little bit more pressure. And links golf does that to you. Although if you have patience and keep plodding away, good things can happen too. So.
There's the temptation, isn't there, to chase a score all the time. John, when you were playing, I'm sure there was you're looking at leaderboards, especially at the Open Championship, and thinking, I just want to get a birdie, get in there.
Yeah, you do. I mean, literally, Jamie knows it's a marathon, not a sprint.
It's definitely.
And especially with conditions like this, when you can get the wrong side of the draw, you're coming out there, the wind's blustering, you come to the little lie on 17, which, my God, what a hole that is, Jamie. Talk me through that little cracker.
I think that's going to terrify a few people this week, because if you don't get it on the green, you're absolutely, not only you're struggling for par, you might be struggling for bogey.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Lucas Herbert made a 6 yesterday, wind's getting up today, so I mean, I'm thinking higher scores than that possibly.
Yeah, he chipped it back into a bunker.
He did.
So it's it's very difficult, such a hard hole, and it's such a penal time of the round too. You know, so it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, we're going to have a look at the
top man, Jamie.
Definitely going to have a look at the pin positions very shortly. But Jamie, just remind us of the stable of players that you coach, because there's quite a few.
Obviously the three here that I've got, Foxy and Ewan and Joost.
Yes.
And then Luke Donald, Sean Crocker, Justin Walters, Matt Pavon. We've had a few this season.
Great stuff.
All right, so.
How's Luke Donald getting on with his picking his team? Who are his wild cards?
Oh, I'd love to know.
We all would.
But yeah, he's starting to play nicely, and I think he's enjoyed the challenge, and he's
big responsibility.
Oh, massive. But he's done incredibly well so far with it, and I'm excited for him.
Yeah, and you're a European supporter, obviously.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course you are. Great
Half
stuff.
a Scotsman, half a Swede. So.
Which part of Scotland?
I live up near St Andrews, in a little village called Pittenweem.
I know it.
Yeah.
I know that part of the world. And so half Scottish, half
Swedish.
Swedish.
Yeah.
I want to say something in Swedish, but I don't know anything.
No, I don't know much either.
Okay.
Jag förstår lite svenska kompis.
Mycket bra.
I know a little Swedish.
What was that, John? What did that mean?
I know a little Swedish.
Oh, you see, that's why we pay you the big bucks. Jamie, thanks so much for your time.
Pleasure.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
And good luck today. Hope Ewan plays well. He's off. What time's he teeing off?
He's off in about 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Oh, quite. You better dash it there.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for your time, Billy.
Top man,
Thank
Jamie.
you. Take care.
Pleasure.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All the best, boss.
Oh, great. So many players that he coaches. Ryan Fox, as we heard, Joost Loughton and Ewan Ferguson. So he's just dashed.
Fantastic stable and a lovely guy.
Great
lots
coach.
of time for everyone. Gives every player equal amounts. You know, no stone unturned. Really top bloke. Goes along. Anyone needs any help, will help them out. And really good guy.
Who knew that John Morgan speaks Swedish?
I know.
George, did you know that?
What can he do? He's a man of many talents. Swedish. I've been to Denmark with him, and he wasn't very fluent over there. But nice to hear he's multi-talented. As Max Homer leaves the chipping green. Lovely little session from him. We've just had John Rahm, Rory McIlroy head off towards your way. So get ready, guys. They'll be over there with you shortly. Also got Colin Morikawa. He's done a full loop. It's great fun watching them on this short game here, but how about this for an outfit and a half? This is something that John Morgan would wear, but sadly, I'm unsure if he could pull it off, mate. Victor Hovland. Get a load of this. Ty, you're probably one to give some fashion advice. Victor, looking bright, splendid. Lovely blue with a bit of tinge of green, turquoisey. I don't know what colour that is. Nice to see how they go about their business. So many players warm up in different ways. This is the fun part where you're just getting your feels back, getting your fingers, getting your hands, getting the arms moving. And there's, if we go to our left here, Colin Morikawa. He's also on the way. A good session from him. Disappointing day for Colin yesterday, our Open champion from Royal St George's. He won the Open in his first appearance. Incredible stuff. We were lucky enough to go into the player locker rooms with him earlier in the week and had a great chat with him about what it means to be an Open champion, along with Francesco Molinari joining in the fun. And we've got Ewan Ferguson, who, from what I was hearing, was on the range just before with you guys, talking to the coach. Victor Hovland, he's come so close in a few big tournaments. When is his time? Good morning. Good, thank you. A day of mystery today. There's so much can happen in these conditions. Who's going to make the first run? Max Homer, who just left the chipping surface, he's 3 under. He's one to watch, but who's one to watch from up there in the comm box?
So, yes, we are live at the range, and it's interesting. I don't know what's happened, but suddenly the entire world has descended on the driving range. All is now revealed. Crowd favourite Rory McIlroy has just arrived on the driving range. He is getting ready for his tee time, which is at 9:58. It is 9:05 now. So McIlroy just under an hour. He is going to be joined by Jon Rahm and Justin Rose. Look at that, packed. He's like the Pied Piper around here, Rory McIlroy. Look at that. It's 9 o'clock on a Friday. And one man, that man, he fought very hard to bring his score back into control. It's 2 over par after 12. Fought really hard, made an unbelievable up and down on the last. Got stuck in a bunker, couldn't get out in one. But some up and down, second serve out the trap and a great putt. And Rory McIlroy is only 5 behind, and he's thinking, you know what? If that's my bad day, day one, I kind of dodged a bullet there. So great fight from McIlroy. Just using a launch monitor to just judge perhaps a little bit of ball speed, judge a bit of carry, just to check that his system is operating at all the right speeds. There it is, confirmation, 9:58. We've got a pretty nice group of people to watch here. So 9:47 is Hovland, Finau and Justin Thomas. Hovland was 1 under, Finau 2 over. Justin Thomas finished terribly and shot 11 over, so disaster for him. 9:58, McIlroy even. Jon Rahm 3 over, Justin Rose 3 over. And then 10:09, Colin Morikawa 2 over. Homer, great work from him, 3 under par. And Tyrrell Hatton, England's Tyrrell Hatton, level. So 3 stellar tee times in a row, but it is all about Rory McIlroy. Just clipping a few wedges, warming up the Rolls Royce. Well, it's more of a Ferrari than a Rolls Royce, really, isn't it? So it's so fluid. Working pretty hard. Michael Bannon, his long-time coach from Hollywood in Northern Ireland. Just getting those arms a little bit more sequenced to the upper body. So there's the current state of play. Fleetwood and the amateur Lamprecht, a hole at 5 under. Emiliano Grillo has double bogeyed the second hole, so he's gone from 5 under back to 3, and that may happen today. You know, it's much more difficult conditions than it was. So all eyes on one man at the moment. Oh, how about that? That's the age to start looking at that. What have you got there, Mum? Live at the range gives you a view. We've used a lot of technology this week to kind of bring you a different viewpoint. So the range has kind of always been like the heartbeat of the golf tournament, especially at the Open. Get to really watch a lot of different shots, all the different players working through their numbers, how they work with the equipment, how they work with the manufacturer, their coaches, and data technology has become really an important part of the game. Rory McIlroy using a launch monitor just to regulate his practice, make sure that the feedback that he's getting is absolutely as accurate as possible. Here's our big dashboard that shows you what the players are doing. So we've got Mickelson just hitting a few. That's be probably a 3-wood for Mickelson. Keegan Bradley probably also 3-wood. Tony Fee now might be on a driving iron there, and Rory, he's just going through a few wedges. Let's have a look straight over us. So just a little takeaway reminder, don't get the club inside. So what Rory McIlroy tries to do is to make sure, like, his hands, as he's taken away, we're going to have a look at this, it's a perfect angle, his hands don't go out and away from him. So he's really trying to feel that they go back on a line and in and around his hips. So he doesn't want them to go out, away from him, and then behind him. So have a look at this. So Rory, see those arms hanging vertically there. He's trying to keep them vertical, so don't go out and away from him. You might have a reminder. No. So just to stop that right arm from getting too deep behind him in the backswing. And when it gets deep behind him in the backswing, it gets a little bit stuck. So McIlroy checking our dashboard, and then his launch monitor. Here we go. The engine of the McIlroy swing, really the weight shift. Hit a few bad shots to start with yesterday, McIlroy. Maybe a little bit nervous. Didn't quite let the full turbo go. Hit a few shots down the right side. Getting early, but some great recovery. So here we go from behind. Watch where that right arm goes. Trying to get it not to go too much more parallel to the ground in that spine angle. Try to keep it like an on spine angle so the right forearm matches to the spine angle, doesn't get in and behind him. Like a flying right elbow, if you like. So McIlroy, 4 wedge system in his clubs. He's just going to go through the middle one of these. So that would probably be the 56 he was hitting. It should be about 135 in carry. 134. So kind of what we're expecting there from McIlroy. Great view here, worm cam. Mike Bannon just watching the flights. Harry Diamond, I think, just going through the pins. What have we got out there, boss? Not a lot of chat amongst the team McIlroy, it's all focus. Just kind of like, just hurry up, isn't it, boom? No wiggles or waggles. See those arms just holding that face. Watch that face come down. It's still square, kind of like to his sternum. So McIlroy really working hard on the rotation, not to lean out of it. Cruising through some different numbers. A little bit more held off there. A little lower. A little shorter. Just sort of trying to anticipate what the course, what he will need when he goes out there. Thinking maybe of a few different shots he's going to have. Here we go, great view here. Look at the McIlroy swing. Hands in front. Little sawn off, almost like a semi-Tommy Fleetwood finish there. That's not the full beams finish. So McIlroy just working around, excuse me. Working around different launch, different carries. Thinking about what he's going to need as he goes out there. Much fuller finish, that's a different shot, that's going to be much higher. So perhaps closer to the pitching wedge now. was kind of like 125, 135, now 145. See the difference in the height. Interesting to see the different variations in it. Was like 80 feet to 110, 30 feet in difference. That one's a little lower. So just playing with his field, just using different weight shifts, different timing, maybe holding that shaft a little bit more ahead, a little bit more lean onto it. Club head speed's different, ball speed's different. So definitely not one stock shot McIlroy's practicing. We saw Danny Willett earlier. He was just kind of hitting the same shot, trying to really groove in something. McIlroy just a loose one there. Mike Bannon holding back pretty far away from his player, isn't he? Not getting involved. In the dark glasses just to the left of the bag as you're looking at it. Harry Diamond in the blue. The caddy, Team McIlroy. Even par, I think they'll have felt like they dodged a bullet, really. McIlroy looked to be in trouble after his third shot. On the 18th, there he is, Mike Bannon. Been with McIlroy since, well, I think McIlroy was 2 years old. Hollywood Golf Club. What a team they've been, what an adventure. But the next thing in that adventure has to be soon the next major. We're hoping that the next major opens the floodgates for more majors. Could it be this week? There's a lot of work to be done. There's the sawn-off finish. That's going to be just a full pitching wedge, a little bit lower. Interesting to see, isn't it? It's kind of like 115 feet high, 90 feet high, 80 feet high, just moving it around all the time, playing with the apexes. So McIlroy is not far away. He's going to be heading out right around 9:58, or 9:58 exactly. It's 9:17 now. So about half an hour. McIlroy, Rahm and Rose. They kind of battled as a group, really. Rory was the best guy, bringing his score back to even in a pretty difficult fight over the last 6 holes yesterday afternoon. So, massive crowd that Rory brought down there with him to the driving range. They'll be heading back there, but first of all, Di, you're up in the gallery. Who have you got for us?
Hi Simon, yeah, I've made my way to the grandstand that looks over the range, and as we've been saying all week, it really is an amazing view. Now, and with all these guys, and just wondering, do we have any Rory fans? Yeah! Rory! He's just down, he's literally just in front of you, and you were here yesterday. Yeah. Hello, what's your name?
Jamie.
Hi Jamie, were you watching a bit of Rory?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, especially at the 18th hole.
Oh, it was amazing, wasn't it?
It was, it was.
He looked like a gymnast trying to get out of that bunker.
Well, he did, and I'm glad he finally got out.
Yes.
In less than 2 tries.
Yeah.
2 tries.
What kind of, strength of character does that show to get out of that bunker when you leave your first one in, sir?
What do you think?
Well, it takes a lot of confidence in yourself that you're going to get it out the next time, especially when you have your leg dangling up in the air like that.
This is great. John Rahm has just come onto the range, and yeah, everyone giving him a ripple of applause. Playing with Rory, of course, and Justin Rose as well. Both of them finished at 3 over par. I'm going to go down here, Kev, cameraman. And who are you here to watch?
Rory McIlroy.
Of course you are. Do you think he did all right yesterday, level par?
Yeah, I think it was a good round for him, yeah.
Good stuff. Do you think he needs to push on today?
Yeah, 4 under today.
4 under today, what do you think?
Yeah, possibly, yeah. Looking for Tommy Fleetwood myself.
5 under par, my goodness. Yeah. Came in with a great stretch of birdies, didn't he, on the back nine?
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Look forward to seeing him today.
You're a local lad, obviously.
Yeah.
What's the weather going to do today?
It'll probably drizzle till about dinner time and then it'll be fine.
Well, that was very specific. It's going to drizzle until dinner time, then it's fine. A lot of people have travelled from far and wide. Hello, where have you come from?
South Africa.
South Africa. Who are you here supporting?
Rory McIlroy.
Great stuff. Oh my goodness, so many Rory fans. Is this the best view in golf, would you say? Literally. And I must say, this is the most attractive crowd that I have ever seen. You're looking gorgeous this morning. What is it? What is it that brings you to the Open Championship?
Oh, it's just seeing them live. You know, you watch them on the television and then, look, Rory McIlroy is right in front of me. It's just incredible.
It really
Absolutely
is, isn't
incredible.
it? You're literally like making memories forever, aren't you?
Fantastic. We came 2017,
Yeah.
so here we are again.
Oh, you went to Royal Birkdale?
We did, yeah.
Oh,
Sitting
great
there.
stuff.
Yeah, and seeing our man there.
But I love Victor
That's
as
all.
well.
Victor Hovland. Yeah, Victor's on the range, I think, as well. There he is. He's on the range. And what do you make of Victor's outfit today? Do you like it?
Very 70s.
It's very 70s, isn't it? Do you like it?
I love it. Brings back memories of shell suits.
Oh my God, shell suits from this part of the world. Great stuff. Lovely to chat to you. I'm just going to go down here, Kev. And can you get a sense of this view, though? If you're at home, you've got to come to the next Open Championship, because sat here in this grandstand, it really is one of the best views in golf. Can we give him another little cheer, actually, if we come round again? Who thinks Rory's going to do well today? Should we give him a little cheer? 1, 2, 3. Yay! They obeyed. You did really well. Thanks, guys. OK, let's get back to commentary. We've had a good time here.
Excellent dive. Yeah, magic moments. The gallery has just been pounding into Royal Liverpool. Everyone's got a favourite, and it seems as though Rory is probably winning the vote there. So it is 09.22. Rory McIlroy is out at 09.58. So at even par, he is only 5 behind. Brian Harman has birdied 2 to get to 5 under. Tommy Fleetwood goes out later today. Christo Lamprecht, the amateur, the reigning British amateur champion, he goes out later. So be interesting to see what the golf course gives. The players are trying to figure out what's a good score today. Like, if it is 69 a good score? Is that 2 under? Rory looking at the wins, trying to make the calculations. There it is, news of Brian Harman's birdie on the second hole. It's a difficult hole, difficult pin today. So well done from Brian Harman. Peter Finch, who was in earlier, who's now heading down to the range fairly soon, he predicted that Brian Harman would have a really good week, and he was right. So Rory going through his warm-up. Interesting, hit every wedge. Probably skip out some of the shots here now. Maybe a 7-5 and an iron there. Then tomorrow do the odds, or come back in after the range, after the course, do the evens. They have a system. Beautiful swing. It's so completed, isn't it? It's, you know, it's so much through to the finish. It looks as though the hit at the ball is just a flow through emotion that keeps continuously going to that long, full shaft down your back finish that is the Rory McIlroy classic pose. How about that? Young cameraman just capturing a bit of some memories there. All sorts. There we go. So, as Rory McIlroy just clips a few, we can have a small break and be back in a moment.
Origins premium experiences at the Open. The ultimate way to experience golf's original championship. Enjoy unparalleled on-course views as the world's best golfers take on the challenge of the links. With over 10 hours of world-class action, mouth-watering food and complimentary drinks, guests can soak up the nail-biting atmosphere like never before. And watch history in the making. Whether you're looking for the ultimate client experience or a memorable day with a group of friends, Origins offers a variety of fully inclusive premium experiences that cater to every taste and budget. Don't miss your chance to guarantee your place and the experience of a lifetime.
We are live at the range, and it is the hottest part on the golf course at the moment because crowd favourite and sort of general golf hero Rory McIlroy, who won the Genesis Scottish Open last week from Robert McIntyre in an amazing fashion, in high winds, showing any doubters that he has got game in the wind. So Rory McIlroy, have a look at this. Wouldn't you like to do this just once in your life? Look at that. Boom, shaft down the back. It's like the finish is frozen in time. It comes to such an abrupt end, the motion, doesn't it? It's like boom. Beautiful. So what is he thinking, Rory McIlroy? Does he feel good? I think he feels good about what he did, and the end of his day yesterday was 2 over, with 6 to go, and sort of looking as though it wasn't going to be his, but he's fought it all the way back, and he's sort of made a move towards the leaders. Now, Jon Rahm. He would be so annoyed with himself. He was kind of going okay, even after 10. Dropped one on 12, that's okay, but bogeys on 16 and bogey on 18, I'm sorry, to finish off at 3 over par, 74. So he'd be very frustrated with that. Hopefully listening to something soothing. One pod in, the other ear may be listening for the hit. Dave Phillips behind him. Dave Phillips and Greg Rose really kind of introduced biomechanics to golf, kind of the first guys to really recognize motion, fitness, injury avoidance were going to be a crucial part. TPI, if you're interested in that, absolutely fascinating data. Don't let your hobby injure your body. Get fit enough to do your swing. So Rahm of the rapid wrists, he will be determined to fight back today. Left arm to stay more linked up to the chest. Don't get too far across his body. So Rahm and Rory going out with Rose. And they need to move themselves closer to a 5 under par. You have to feel as though Rahm's got to shoot. Rahm and Rose have got to shoot like a 3 under to really become a part of the fabric. If Rory shoots 3 under, he'll probably get himself all the way up maybe into that kind of top 15. Although 3 under par is in 6th place at the moment. So it's going to be very interesting to see the numbers. Jon Rahm just clipping a few wedges out there. Rory a little bit further through his practice, so that is possibly It's 265. Is that an iron for Rory McIlroy? It might be his driving iron. It is. So Rory driving iron off the deck, probably around a 3-iron loft. Watch this. It just comes to such a good finish, doesn't it? You know, even you never see him lose his balance. It's so ingrained, it's so amazingly good. So Bones heads down with Justin Thomas, who really had a disastrous day. JT 11 over par, can you believe that? Now that is Justin Rose and Max Homa. Homa was amazing yesterday. So in the light blue, just going through his movements there. Max Homa, one of the very strong, steady performers on the PGA Tour. It's great to see him over. Rose, little cheeky 3-wood, just getting himself aligned correctly. Okay, just a little shaft in the ground, just reminding himself of the plane. Mark Blackburn has been coaching Rose. Mark Blackburn is coaching Max Homa. And there is Mark just working with somebody. Maybe telling one of the caddies, okay, listen, so if he does this, the thing you've got to tell him, the next thing that happens is he's got to do that. So keep an eye out for that. So the diagnostic toolkit of a tour player, absolutely crucial. What they'd hate is mistakes, so they have to know what the outcomes are. So Rose using a shaft to help him with the exit. Keep those hands low and close to him. So see where the hands are there. What Rose doesn't want is rising hands through the ball. So just maybe turning over slightly in the wind there. Justin Rose's front 9 was not good. He started bogey, and then bogeyed the par 5 6th as well. I'm sorry, bogeyed the 5th, which was the par 5, isn't it? Kind of steadied the ship. Here we go. How would you like to have this? This old man, this is we have a very enthusiastic graphics guy called Fred. And that's his work, so he's accumulating all the shots. It's a fascinating Rose from the left side playing into the wind. Rory in the middle playing a bunch of different shots. Rahm, you can see just working around all sorts of different targets, more working on his shots to certain pins or certain shots. Rory, again, using all sorts of different launches, lower and higher. And now the ground-to-ground missile that is the Rory McIlroy 3-wood. This is obviously thinking of a certain hole on the golf course. Where could it be? Maybe the dogleg left 14th hole. The run out over the left bunker. All eyes marveling at the Rory McIlroy swing. Every single person here wondering, how does he do that? So, will it be McIlroy's day? Super popular, Rory McIlroy, and in form, having won last week. First victory since Dubai on the DP World Tour, where he took down Patrick Patrick Reed. An amazing birdie at the last. Rory McIlroy getting to the end of this session. Just to remind you, he is off at 9:58. It is 9:35, and it probably takes about 10 minutes to go from the driving range through the courtesy car buses. Have a few last putts and then down across to the first tee. Maybe just a little bit too much hook. Gonna have one more go at that. I think I'll just have one more go at that. Oh, how about this? Hey, live at the range, we've got it all. We've got Fred, who's just magical with the fireworks of the shots, but then look at this. So McIlroy, Rose, Rahm. Look at Rahm's hand position there, and then just a flash of speed. Just like a 1-inch punch from Jon Rahm. Rory McIlroy pulling out the big dog. Rose also with driver. Some tee time. If they could get momentum, if they could get off to a good start, then that could really get that group going, and that will create a massive buzz this morning on day 2 of the 151st Open. Look at that. Rory McIlroy. Yeah, Stealth 2 driver, new technology. So power through 328 yards of carry he's recorded this week. I thought he was going out to go worm cam there. He's just gone to get his tee. It's hard. It's like if you're the gallery, it's hard to see the McIlroy golf ball, right? Because it just goes so fast and so high, and 328 yards. So here we go. It's a load. Watch the legs. You know you're good when your peers stop to watch your shots, and then they go, "Oh wow, I can't do that." Rory looking at the dashboard, and he's probably thinking, when I leave this driving range, I'm going to make sure that I have got the longest carry, just to send a message to everyone behind me. I mean, he's now 6 behind Brian Harman, who has added a further birdie to his tally. That is on the 3rd hole. So par, birdie, birdie for Brian Harman. Peter Finch called this, I can tell you, he called this, I think, on either Monday or Tuesday to say, listen, he's been through the numbers, and this was the guy that he thought really was going to have a good chance as an outlier. Starting to get up to the gears, starts at sort of 5th gear, then goes through 6th gear, and then the final one is 7th gear with full turbo. I don't think we're there yet. Rory deciding just to have a couple more shots here. Coming in from behind, that is his routine. Picture the lines. And now watch this. It's a little bit more flex on the shaft at the top of the backswing there. Let's have a look. Is he going to like that? 179. I'd say there's a slight bit miss hit. We might just have one more go. That was the lower one. So there's a one that goes 140 feet in the air, where the launch is probably about 15. I don't think we'll see that today. Let's have a look. It's a little bit faster. 83 ball speed, okay. And that could be the high one. Let's have a look. 136. Ah, Rory. 314 carry. No, is he going to be happy with that? Is that the marker that he's going to set for Bryson DeChambeau when Bryson comes on and says, all right, Bryson, if you look at this longest shots, you can't get there, mate. So the McIlroy warm-up is over. And as he leaves, the crowd leaves. And up they get, and down they go. And where he goes, they will follow him. That's it. Who do you think they came to see? We will be back in just a few minutes. Rory McIlroy has left the building. He is going to the first tee. Maybe have a few putts first. And we have also got George. George, how are you, mate? Whereabouts are you?
Good morning, Simon. I'm very well, thank you. I'm just at the player arrivals in the mix zone, so a nice spot to be if you want to spot some players. How are you over there, Simon?
Oh, it's been great. We've been capturing sort of like all of the swings and all of the tension. Some guys sort of with, you know, a great position that they're trying to increase. Other guys did not have the day one they wanted and will have to be amazing on day two. So it was pretty tense, I think. Everybody wants to make the cut at the Open. You've got to be here for the weekend. And so some people have got a big fight on their hands to achieve that, George.
They certainly do. And for a lot of the players that played late yesterday, it hasn't got any easier. There's a lot of wind out here. I've been walking the course this morning and it is very difficult. So it's a classic day of links golf, Simon.
Yeah, it is. The weather definitely picked up kind of in walking on the course there. And you can see got a little bit of wind action there. Friskier flags.
Tony Finau, Victor Hovland just cruising off to their tee time. They're in the group in front alongside Justin Thomas. Some big names, but they didn't quite fire yesterday, did they, Simon?
It was interesting. That whole little group, you kind of had like 9 guys, 9 really top players. Oh, Morikawa, you know, did not really perform how he'd wanted. Hovland was good. He shot 1 under. Finau 2 over. Justin Thomas a disaster, and then a bigger disaster up the last 11 over par.
Wow.
And you just go to think that that is the air out of his balloon for this year's Open.
Yeah, that's tough to take. I thought Max Homa was really good. One to watch. He's always been competing on the PGA Tour and just hasn't quite got close enough at a major. So nice to see him up there.
Yeah, he shot 3 under par. He's kind of got one of those kind of like steady pace swings, hasn't he? And you just feel like that's like if you compare his swing to the Rahm swing and it gets windy, you just think, you know what? Homer's swing has less pieces to go wrong. It's kind of like he's a slow walker, he's a slow talker, and his swing's slow. Rahm is like the Energizer Bunny. He's just on a buzz, isn't he? So be interesting to see. Rahm will need to fight hard to get from 3 over back to maybe 1 under par. Be amazing for him, George.
Yeah, 100%. I'm enjoying that, and well, we're waiting for an Irishman to arrive, and we've got one here. It's not Rory McIlroy. It's Alex Maguire.
Alex Maguire, the amateur. Yeah, played well.
He's having a great week. His first Open Championship. Qualified late, not too long ago. Good morning, Alex. How's your week going, mate? How's your week going? Loving it. Great to see some amateurs out here, and obviously one of them in particular doing very, very well.
Christo Lamprecht is 5 under par. He is 6'8" in height. Amazing. Incredibly powerful. 202 ball speed we managed to coax out of him.
Yeah, I heard you were trying to break his back, Simon.
Yeah, well, we just wanted to see what he had in the tank. So, you know, the way he played the 3rd hole was amazing. He did about 350 straight over the corner. Over the corner of the dogleg into the rough on the other side. Whacked it out of there to not long to that back right flag. Knocked it in. 3. Out you go.
Yeah, he's very good to watch.
He just takes it over the bunkers, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, that's it. He did that at the Amateur Championship at Hillside. He literally just took them out of play and said, I'm going to whack it right over them and deal with the trouble later. And more often than not, he wasn't overly in trouble.
No. And he can putt and he can manage his ball and keep himself going. So Rory McIlroy will soon be headed your way, George.
What was the atmosphere like on the range with Rory yesterday? It was electric.
Yeah, I think, you know, Rory's warm-up, it looked pretty good. He didn't look that tense. There's a little bounce in the step there, George. I think he would feel as though maybe he dodged a bit of a bullet yesterday because it was 2 over par with 6 holes to go and got it all the way back, right? So I think, and you could see like that finish, the up and down, having made a mess of the bunker shot, meant a lot to him. Didn't you see that?
Well, here's the man of the moment. That bunker shot, that fist pump was absolutely fantastic. Really got away with it, didn't he? So really pleasing to see. He's looking good here today. Good morning.
Metal spikes.
I love the metal spikes, Simon. It reminds me of a football or rugby match when you're coming out of the tunnel. Go on there, boys, let's go there.
How do you think the All Blacks are going to do this summer, George?
The All Blacks are going to go well. I've been getting a bit of stick from the likes of your Rorys and your Shanes with the Irish playing so well, but very happy with where the All Blacks are sitting. Just, if possible, they're kind of coming under the radar. So, no stress here.
Yeah, World Cup of Rugby in France, going to be amazing. So, McIlroy, 2 balls down, maybe just a bit of speed work. Mickelson in the background there, doing some drills.
Simon, as a lot of amateur golfers probably view this moment, how important are these last few putts for a pro? Because we always say you don't want to waste your good ones on here.
No, all they're trying to do is just to make sure. So you're sort of like, is my instinct good? Like, have I got the speed of the greens? You know, it's about the speed first of all. The colour of the greens on links is quite difficult, and they're not very slopey, these greens. So it's really just a case of like you're probably going like right edge, left edge. So you're playing a lot of kind of like pace putts and those 15 footers. If you can knock some of those in and make most of your 6 footers and in, you know, we saw Rory, well, miss a real tiddler, didn't we? So the putter has to cooperate if McIlroy's going to be our winner this week.
Look at this for a front row seat these fans have got here. Rory is putting right into them.
Yeah, that's magical, isn't it? If you can get so close to the action, especially with all of the technology that we've been doing, George, with the sort of the live at the range and you zooming around, it's sort of like a new insight. We've never really had this before.
Yeah, and there's not many sports in the world where you get this close to your superstars. Normally 50 rows back in a grandstand or a stadium, and yeah, it's so unique. And the great thing about golf, you know, the best in the world can hit it right to your feet sometimes.
Yeah. So, Rory McIlroy just going through. Don't need any of those. The green reading is so crucial. That was one of the things that Tiger Woods had that I think we probably didn't realize when he was just dominating, was just the most amazing reader of greens. And probably Steve Williams as well, also an amazing reader of greens. So they are hard to see, the little nuances. Tiger had the magic. Yes, lots of those we want from Rory McIlroy today. Come on, can we get 2 in a row?
Come on.
Okay.
It's amazing how much emphasis is on the flat sticks, isn't it, Simon? It's literally...
Oh, you think of Rory's game, so you go 330 driver carry, 8 iron from 190 yards to 5 feet miss, and you go, oh, God. Then you do it again on the next hole, and again on the next hole. So Rory has got to have a little heat.
I've been interested with his tee times, Simon, to have a 3 p.m. and then, what are we today, at 10 a.m. I don't think he's got the best draw.
No.
So the elements are against him.
Yeah, how much more windy is it there, George, where you are?
Oh, so much more than yesterday. Yeah, this is proper wind now, and I'm wondering if that's going to... I can't see it getting any lighter for a long time.
So are you thinking, so a wind direction, so like if we have the first hole there, is it into off the right on 1? Or
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
okay.
going to be straight into the teeth and slightly off the right.
Okay.
And 18, it goes with the fairway on 18 as it bends to the right. So yeah, it's very similar wind to yesterday, but just a club extra, if not 2.
It's amazing. I mean, the last time Rory was here, and certainly when Tiger was here, if there was any wind, it came from the total opposite direction, dead downwind on 1.
Well, a lot of them have pulled driver on the first just to try and bomb the bunkers, but this wind is going to most likely bring more of them into play. I haven't watched much of the coverage, but I'd be interested to see how many people are getting close to those fairway bunkers.
So it is 09:52. And Rory McIlroy has got 6 minutes. The putting is done.
Here he comes.
The walk to the first tee begins for Rose, Rahm, and McIlroy.
John Rahm in the distance, alongside Phil Mickelson also there putting. Justin Rose. It's big names galore. Oh, hold on. Rory's just pulled out another one out of nowhere. He put the putt away. The cover head was on. He was settled. Just something he wanted to do. A little something extra.
Closing scenes right before the guys go out, going for it.
Interested to see how John Rahm goes today. Was not overly impressed in the media scrum afterwards. There'll be a bit of Spanish fire in the belly today. Simon, what putt do you think he's practicing here? Do you remember one from yesterday?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the last few from 1 foot and 2 feet, just to go through the process. I think sometimes it's the concentration, perhaps, that moves around. Do you agree with that? It's like just misses a part of the process, kind of just a tiny bit sloppy in the focus. So bouncy, 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 Rory McIlroy. Come on.
Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. We love that.
And up
Bouncing
and down.
The first.
Yeah. Look at our cameramen. They are they're athletes. sound you don't often hear.
Enjoy. Good friend and long-time caddy. Harry would love nothing more than for his golfer to make a move and tick off that first major together.
And now they get to see him.
Such a fun part, isn't it?
But just listen.
It's crazy to think that Jon Rahm is getting next to no attention in the same group as McIlroy, yet he is an absolute world beater himself. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. So, George, are you going to head down? Are you going to turn your mic up so we can catch a little action?
Yeah, we might be able to try and see what we can do. Maybe come out this way. Oh, there we go. There he is. Way over there in the distance. The hopes of many lie on one man's shoulders. Good morning. Simon. Oh, can you hear that?
Oh, yes.
Oh, this is just fun. Every day I don't mind hearing that roar.
There is a message there that says there is no other like it, this is the one, and that is right.
No doubt about it. Well, Simon.
George, mate, that was awesome. Well played. Great position work there. So we will leave Rory McIlroy and hopes of an amazing day for Justin Rose, Jon Rahm and Rory McIlroy. We are back live at the range. We've kind of got like a little bonanza group that goes out here. So we've kind of got Hovland, Finau, Thomas, McIlroy, Rahm, Rose, Morikawa, Homa, and Tyrrell Hatton. There he is. He is even par. I think he will feel good about the work that he's done. Okay, the one-handed flare miles right from Tyrrell Hatton. You can tell quite easily what Tyrrell thinks about his shots. So 7 under par now leads the Open. Brian Harman has gone par, birdie, birdie, birdie. Tyrrell goes for 2 massive one-hand finishes. So I think he's had enough of that. Heads to the range. Extremely annoyed by his performance that we just caught up with there. He is off at 10.09, following the group that has just arrived on the tee. That is McIlroy, Rahm and Rose. Tyrrell out with Morikawa and Homa. Homa was amazing yesterday, 3 under par. He now trails Brian Harman, first man to get to 7 under par. So got a little worm cam action for you, just having a look. We've got a lot of technology down on the driving range this year. I am delighted to be joined by Wayne Riley. Wayne.
Hello, everybody. Look at that. And they're looking up there at the players. Quite windy and cold out there today, so it's going to be an interesting day. It's going to be harder than yesterday. I don't imagine the scoring will be much different, but I think if you went out there and slipped it around in 5 under today, you'd be... That Harman, last week I was up there at the Scottish Open, the Genesis Scottish Open, and his game suits this. He's such a good chipper and putter, and you need to be to win an Open Championship. You've got to get it up and down. You aren't going to hit all the greens.
Yeah. Definitely is right to left wind and moving around, so guys are heading out. It's a view you never get to see, so it's an interesting one. Let's see who we've got there. Tyrrell Hatton just left. He was really disappointed. Phil Mickelson, he's up at 10-20 with Taylor and Adam Schenk. Ah, here we go. Ollie Wilson, 2 under par, working hard with Robert Rock. Inspector Gadget. No one, Wayne, has got more gadgets, golf gadgets, than Ollie Wilson.
Really?
Really. Like Harrington was a contender, but he's not even sniffing Ollie Wilson's kit. So here we go.
You don't really know what you're going to get with Ollie Wilson. Forrest Gump golf. I mean, like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
But, you know, I won the Dunhill Links up there and in Scotland. Great championship. We'll be up there at the end of the year watching that. Carnoustie Kings Barnes and the great St Andrews, the home of golf. Setting his plane under that shaft, leaning over.
So Ollie has been working a lot on a right arm position with Robert Rock this week.
What's setting it in closer to his chest?
More in front of him, so not to get it too deep, so that he can keep those body angles a little better. Now 5 behind Harman. He was 3. Harman has gone par, birdie, birdie, birdie. And he's got the 5th hole, that's a par 5, so Harman could possibly start with 4 under par after 5.
As the sun starts to come out, they say it's going to brighten this afternoon. This wind, when the cloud cover disappears, the wind will kick in.
Yeah, I think that's right. So Ollie Wilson working hard. It's kicking up, Radar.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
A lot of crosswinds out here on Royal Liverpool, Hoylake. It's quiet down at the range right now for some reason. Anyone would think Rory has just gone out to the golf course.
Yeah, it was
He's
amazing.
like the Pied Piper of golf,
He is.
Rory McIlroy.
He is,
Wherever he goes,
100%, yeah.
they follow.
Yeah. So amazing. So Ollie just getting himself limbered up, ready to go. 10:42. Very methodical, working hard on his technique.
Good posture.
Yeah, very good.
Good player, right, a cuppa.
Yeah.
And then just disappeared off the face of the earth. Challenge tour.
Yeah.
All sorts of things.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing rise and
He's
fall
been
and
there
rise.
and back, hasn't
yeah. Yeah, and he looks to be back, which is great.
Okay, well, that stick's gone now, Simon. What's he going to bring out now?
Let's have a look what he's got for us now. I think that's the end of the technical part, so it might just be now recreating tee shot on 1.
No sweater on. I've got 2 on. Oh, I like this position.
Worm camp. Bay 13. Watch this. So,
right.
Just trying to make sure he can hold those body positions, that chest over the ball a little more, not get too where the hips come in and the chest goes up and the head goes back and the face doesn't square and the ball goes right.
You being a fine coach yourself, have you got all these diodes down there at the Wisley?
Ah, Ollie's a Wisley member. We've got everything, mate. There's not anything we don't have. We're teched up.
You are, and it's absolute great value.
Top tracer we've got on the
15 quid an hour, marvellous.
Yeah.
With a bacon sandwich and a cup of tea.
Yeah, you can have that. Yeah.
I can hear your phone going now.
We play golf at Fox Hills, don't we, Radar? That's a good spot.
Yeah, that's my club.
And my club.
Our club, yeah.
Yeah. Amazing golf facilities all around the UK. And this is a special one, Radar. Hey, do you like the golf course here?
Oh, it's absolutely sensational. Truly is sensational. Those bunkers out there are like magnets. Incredible 5 from Rory McIlroy, Simon, last evening on that 18th. He had nothing. He just tried it out sideways. That was even difficult. And to get a knee out of the bunker, one leg in.
But I think that's also his fitness and his strength. Showed there, right? I mean, that's just speed and balance. Ollie, just now Sahith Theegala.
Oh, great player. I love one of my favourite players.
Don't you think?
Yeah, he's wonderful to watch.
Now so you see where Ollie is there. He's hit it like Ollie's basically just missed the driving range there. Over there. Now Sahith hit it another 50 yards left, so he did not look to us as though he was in fine form when he left the driving range. Let's have a look and see where he is, see if we can find out.
Well, if he had a bad warm-up, that means he's going to start well.
There's bad warm-ups, and then there was what Sahith did. He was all over the place, did not look as though he had it. So he's probably 4 or 5 under par. Sahith is 1 under par for his round, 7 over par.
Oh, 7. What's the cut going to be? 2?
Yeah.
3 maybe with the wind?
Yeah. So I can report in that Rory McIlroy absolutely smashed his first tee shot straight down the middle of the first fairway.
As he does.
As he does. So, Ollie, 2 under par.
So drivers, see, this isn't the norm, folks. This isn't the norm. You go to the driver, you start with wedge, and then you go to the driver, then you go to mid irons, then you go to short irons.
Yeah.
So is he working his way down through the bag?
Work back down.
Not up through the bag, which most players. What I used to do, I always started with wedges. One day a sand iron, then I'd go wedge, and Thursday I'd go 9, 7, 5, 3 up through the woods, and the next day wedges, I'd go 8, 6, 4 that way. And I'm not superstitious or anything like that.
No, I think that's a good way of doing it.
I just did it that way.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
A lot of players hit every club.
Yeah. Yeah, Tiger Woods, I think, I can't remember, was it 45 balls Tiger Woods hits as he goes through, getting ready to play. Very, very regimented. He'd figure it out. They'd have it all measured out. Steve Williams would get there, Joey LaCava, put the 45 out, boom.
Hour before I'd get to the golf course, an hour 15 before, 15 minutes in the locker room. Get yourself ready, shoes on, straight out there. Didn't putt beforehand, out to the range, half an hour on the range, chip, 10 minutes, putt, 20 minutes. It's a game of, you have to be consistent, boys and girls, if you want to make your way in the game of golf on the tour. You have to have, it's the same. You go to the range, how many looks do you take at your target? Do you take 3 looks? Do you take 2? We'll work it out and do the same thing all the time. Why? Because when you are under pressure, you can revert back to that system that you have. And the pressure goes away because you are thinking about your system. You aren't thinking about what you are trying to accomplish. You're thinking about hitting the shot and just going through your pre-shot routine. So very important.
No, it is important. And you'll see, when players get nervous, routines change. So Ollie, just trying to keep those elbows, that right elbow a little bit more in front. Chest down through the ball. So what you don't want to have is a high left side going through the ball. good, clean angles.
It's a good move, isn't it, Simon?
It's a good move, getting better. I like it. I've worked with Ollie in the past, and always try to get sort of less things in his head and try to find the backswing that he can just let it go so that the chain reaction works, so he doesn't have to do so much through the ball. So probably the end of the Ollie Wilson warm-up. Caddy and Ollie off to the first tee, so they are going to be going for tee fairly soon. 10:42. Guido Migliozzi, Ollie Wilson and Connor McKinney. So Guido was good, 2 under, matching Ollie, also 2 under. Connor, work to do from Australia, he was 5 over. So -11-minute gaps, intervals.
Yeah,
now.
I love that. I love that one. Back in the day when I used to play, it was 9.
Yeah, so
no, 11's great.
Yeah, 11.
We have the daylight.
Yeah. Guido.
I was with him, Migliozzi, at the Betfred British Masters up there at the Belfry.
Yeah.
And the powers that be, my producer made me move after about 6 or 7 holes. He had a disastrous, and his manager, Niall Horan, of One Direction fame, he came out and he was watching it. And I looked at him and he looked at me and said, mate, it's probably time to go back. I just drove up the M40. I'm going to drive back down the M40 back to London. So I so much want an Italian to be in the team in Rome. I just think it'd be, I'd love to see Constantino Rocca given some sort of
a
role there.
Yeah.
I truly, whether it be a vice captain or just be there in the locker room. Pass right a couple famous hole-in-one there.
Yeah.
At Oak Hill or Oakland Hill?
Yeah, Oak Hill, yeah. So Guido.
Good player.
Yeah. Lost to Blandy in the British Masters, I think.
No, that was a while back, but this year he was right up there. He was leading at 7 under par after 36 holes, and wasn't to be.
So 121 ball speed, 165 carry, 103 feet. I'm thinking that's just a baby 8-iron. Trying to control the face through the ball. That's the game. There's lots of different ways of doing it.
Hold-up shots there, trying.
Yeah.
Well, right to left win. You can see that thing flying straight. That's the thing. Get the ball up there, almost stalling and working its way against the breeze. And why? To get it to come down as soft as you can, and that is secret. That is key for playing successful golf. You can't ride the breeze. The ball will just, once it hits the deck, it'll just get away from you.
Yeah.
See if he hits the same shot. You'll see a high finish. What's he doing there, Simon, when he goes down there?
So just to make sure that you know what happens in the wind is you can easily get too gripped first. You know, you're trying to put pressure on the ball, keep it down. You end up pulling it, leaning on it, and what he's trying to do there is probably just like let the shaft out so the toe squares up a little bit. So just like a turn to club head sequence, not to spin out, get the club too late behind you.
The old day term cast.
Yeah, well, no, I don't think that's the cast because he's not actually uncocked his wrist, but he's straightened out his right arm. So
Rory birdied the first.
He did birdie the first, Radar.
Rory alert. Birdie for Rory.
He is in 19th position. He is now 6 shots behind. The chase is on.
That's not a lot.
That's not a lot at all. Not a lot at all. So Guido
4, where he started today, Rory, 4 shots would be a good position to be in going into the weekend when things start to twitch that you didn't know could twitch.
Oh, I love that. Okay. So, there it is. He's obviously not trying to whack it a foot into the ground. It's just a feel to not get too steep on it. So trying to maintain the sequence, get it shallow. Don't lean on it. A bit more hit through the ball there. Changed clubs, that's probably a 7-iron. Oh, he might have skipped one. That might be his 6 or a 7.
Players these days, Simon, where, you know, like he's got khaki with grey. And back when we played, don't you think our colours matching, our colour schemes were, I think they were more vibrant and better.
Well,
I think everyone's gone a bit drab. Do you?
I think that's a very valid point. I don't know if you've seen Victor Hovland's outfit today.
Yes, yeah, I've seen. I like a bit of Victor.
Yeah, I mean the 60s in golf were a pretty wild time, weren't they? The big pink flares and the massive belts and everything. Maybe just the Pantone colours were a bit more end spectrum ending. This is a bit more sort of, it's almost like a bit of camo, isn't it? But interesting that we are talking about clothing. Anyway, so here we go.
Narrow stance, Simon.
Yeah. Lots of legs through the ball. Pushing that one down. You see that launch is lower. More driven. Working with some different flights and shapes there. You can see the apexes there, highlighted by the amazing graphics person here is called Fred. It's an unusual practice thing, isn't it?
It certainly is.
You don't want to copy that.
There's a reason for it.
Yeah, yeah, just don't get too... Keep your chest down, get your arms straightening out in front of you. Nice little hold up shot there, Radar.
He's got a lot of movement forward, Holmesy, and
yeah,
it's almost like a lean. Would you call it a lunge?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of lateral, isn't it? It's a lot of lateral. I mean, Scotty Scheffler's got a lot of lateral. Spieth's got a lot of lateral. You can always tell by the kind of the stability of that left foot. Oh, you can't believe this, Radar. You called it, mate. We've got a new man. Brian Harman has gone for 8 under par. He's gone par, birdied the second, birdied the third, birdied the fourth, and on the par 5, he's birdied that as well. There it is. So, just lipped out an eagle putt. Incredible. I think that probably just sends a signal to the guys going out there that you can score. Yep. I think that does give hope.
Especially on that front 9.
Yeah.
And then batten down the hatches on that backside.
Yeah, it's quite tough. It was interesting to see. Emiliano Grillo had an amazing back 9 last night, but it just doesn't look as though that many scores. So we will just go for a little break. Be back in a moment. When we do, we're going to see Shabs.
We're told that the weather forecast for today is kind early on, with the possibility of some wet weather later.
I think Mother Nature kicks it up another notch.
Quite extraordinary. What a moment.
Welcome back to Live on the Range. Ooh, that looks nice up there, doesn't it? Look at that sunshine. Get the sunscreen at it ready. Shabanka Sharma. Good swinger. Good move right there. Vigorous through the ball. No holding back. No punch shots. 5 behind Harman. How do you feel? Had a great night. Nice dinner. Back to the hotel, the room, and there you find yourself 5 back. What is going out there with Harman?
Strong player, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and in a great position. Tied 6th. We are live at the range. Guys just getting ready. Everyone you see here getting ready for their tea time. The early starters are just going through into the back 9. That's an unusual release feel. Amateur golfers release the club too early. Pro golfers release the club too late. And that is an interesting action, Wayne Riley.
Yes, it certainly is. Gunnar Wiebe. Is he going to do well today? He'll need to. 16 back. Watch the leg movement here.
Just like a little jump.
He's a field player. You could obviously, you can't see that swing being full of consistency. You can see him being a streaky player and shooting phenomenal scores. But when it comes down to 4 rounds of golf, but then again, I say that, you know, we look back to Jim Furyk. We look at Scotty Scheffler. I mean, Scotty Scheffler looks like Fred Astaire on ice skates.
I like that.
How well does he play?
Michael Flatley.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, Scotty Scheffler's very linear drive at the ball, isn't it? That sort of lateral force directly down at the ball. Let's have a look at this. I wonder if he is airborne. Think he's airborne? Let's have a look. If he had a little sheet of paper, could you pop it under his feet? There's a little double bounce there.
It is. I like the little bounce. I like
Yeah.
that. He's here at the Open Championship. He's playing. It's a feat within itself.
Son of Mark Wiebe, remember?
I played with Mark.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark Wiebe, his dad. I played with him once at in Memphis, Southwind, back in the day in the FedEx, the old FedEx.
Yeah.
And the first hole, he hits it up there 3 feet behind the hole. And he's got this birdie putt. And there was this spike mark, and it was so high, it was casting a shadow. So I thought, what's he going to do here? Is he going to putt it, Mark? Or what are you going to do? So he pulls out the wedge and chips it straight over the top of the spike mark.
In?
First time I've ever seen it, yeah.
Oh, how good's that? Well, Gunnar is here going through all the stages on the DP World. Yeah, absolutely. Look at that view, the bird's eye view. We've also got top tracer. So we've got this massive scoreboard, and the players, if you see them looking across to the left of the driving range, across their left shoulder, what they're doing is they're looking to see this data. So the carry, the ball speed, the launch, the apex, hang time, and the curve. This is really a digital age. There's so much data for you out on the golf course. It's easy to find the players. It's easy to see what you're watching. So we're watching Gunnar clip a few. Glancing down. Amazing, isn't it? Following your father's footsteps.
Yeah, he was a fine player, Mark.
Yeah, he was.
Well, let's wish him all the gunner today. Let's wish him all the best. Let's see what he shoots today.
Yeah.
And shoot yourself a 65.
Well, Mark Wiebe won the 2013 Senior Open at Royal Birkdale in a playoff with Bernard Langer.
I was there, as I'll be there next week down there at Royal Porthcawl.
I will be there.
Yep.
Okay. I'm looking forward to that. That's a great track.
Certainly is.
So there's links expertise in the Wiebe family. Had a nasty injury, so just coming out the back of an injury radar, really. Gunner. Puts a lot of pressure on your body. So we're going to see who else we've got. You're gonna have the Finn there. Is that Carly? Yeah, Carly Samuja. So first time at the Open on the back of an excellent finish made in Himmerland in Denmark.
Works very hard right here. You can see he's moving, he's twitching his hips, trying to resist because he over-rotates with them by the looks of things. Not too bad there, but do they over, you being the guru of the swings, do they over-rotate a little too much?
I would say maybe there's a little bit too much lateral in them. So you're trying to sort of make sure that your right hip, when it's turning back, almost turns back towards the target, right? So you kind of keep in a tight tube. So you don't want to drift off the ball, only because it's so hard to drift back to the same space. So there, pitch your hips and hands. Match
Too much turn, you mean, that could get you to slide through it, over-release or block?
So I think what happens is he wants to have that right hip not go lateral. He wants it almost like turn back behind him. Can you see that? Maybe a bit, still a hair of drift in there, like at the end of that. It's a combination of lateral and also rotational. So interesting to see him go through his routine from the driver to the 3-wood, just thinking maybe of a couple of holes that he's going to do. Three-wood. Let's have a look at that little drill that he's doing there. It's very still for a long time, Radar, isn't it?
Yeah, he's stagnant. He kind of like doesn't keep things moving.
Carly. And Gunner. Kind of hitting the same club there. That's kind of matched up nicely. Gunner lower flight just a little bit. Maybe drilling one. Kind of 3-woods. Carly, that's going to be a little hotter. Interesting to see the tracer. So this is all shown up on the range so that the
fantastic
players can see it, but also our very precious gallery can see it. The fans really trying to sort of grow the driving range, so show you what happens. It's kind of like the heartbeat of the golf tournament. Now we've got a split screen, so we've just watched the two guys. Carly is with a 3-wood there. Gunner's got a driver. Watch the little foot hop with Gunner. Got a little bounce, just checking down to see his launch monitor and pretty much hating that.
Left.
So now, because they've just sequenced this perfectly, Carly, well, mind you, Carly could probably actually get stuck in his routine. Gunner might have another go at that. Oh, someone's, oh, I thought. Gunner with the kick and a hook.
He's a good player, Campillo. A winner on the DP World Tour. Seems to be there every week. Strong as a bull.
Working with Liam James with the badge around his neck there, just behind him. Got a lot of good players now, Liam. Out on tour most weeks, working hard. So, driving iron. Amazing how many of those have been put into the bag this week.
Yes.
Wayne Riley.
And why not? You know, you got some... The golf course has got some fire in it, so you can flatten this club out, and you don't want to hit a three. You just got to avoid these bunkers out there. And as soon as you get help in the air, you just pull this thing. Just get it on the fairway.
Yeah.
And... you know, in crosswinds, as long as there's a little bit of help in the crosswinds, this golf club, well, back in the day when I played, I used to have this ping one iron.
Yeah.
It was like a butter knife.
Yeah.
Who made it famous was Sandy Lyle. Do you
Yeah.
remember the distance he used to hit it?
Yeah.
But just great clubs. Driving irons, they kind of went away with hybrids coming. Hybrids are amazing for no wind and soft conditions. You can send them up into the air and they come down so very softly, but this is a different story. This is a different kettle of fish. Links golf is very much keep it in place somehow and jockey, tack your way around a golf course, and this helps big style. And most of them, they seem to have these graphite shafts.
Yeah.
Whether it's actually graphite, I don't know.
I think these are graphite shafts, a little bit lighter, and now the graphites can be also stiffer, different weights. So steel shafts probably around sort of 105 is a light one, all the way up to sort of like a traditional shaft is 130 grams. These things are probably 65 to maybe 80 grams, so a little bit more weight in the head, a little bit less weight in the shaft. You can just swing it faster. They're like mini drivers for these guys.
Campillo looks like he's pretty relaxed on the range. A lot of people around him, a little bit of a joke. Just keeping it loose, and why not? Everyone's different when they go to the range before they prepare.
Yeah, he's also 11 over.
Yeah.
So
you're going to be relaxed.
Well, at least you're not probably going to have a particularly stressful...
62 might do it.
Yeah.
63.
I think if you shot 11 over on day one, it's unlikely to turn that around with a 62, but who knows? The golfing gods give and take in unequal measures. So, just in having a look at some of the scoring, it doesn't look very easy out there. I think Brian Harman is having an amazing day. Confirmation, Wayne, of the lead that Brian Harman has now got. There it is. I did not think that Tommy Fleetwood would not have thought he was going to arrive at the golf course 3 behind at the moment. So it's an amazing start. Emiliano has not had a good start. Really, he's 2 over through 7 and back to 3 under. So guys more or less battling to hold their position.
It's early though.
Tom Kim is doing the best out there. He's also 4 under par, Wayne.
Yeah. I remember back in '82, Bobby Clampett was 10 in front.
Yeah, after
midway through the back 9 on Friday.
Yeah.
After 36 holes, he was 10 in front.
Yeah.
Did he win?
0. No.
Who won? Watson.
What? Yeah, Watson. Yeah. So,
1 of 5 for the great Tom Watson.
Let's have a look. Kind of an interesting head position to his spine here. Kind of rotates his head away a la Nicholas and then kind of stays back there. Maybe catch a little bit more hook through the ball because of that.
You shoot a bad round the first round, there's always something to play for. What will he be playing for? A few weeks off on the DP World Tour now. He'll want to leave here with a good round under his belt.
Yeah.
You know, okay, it's a bad round. It happens to everybody. Yeah. You go out there and shoot a bad round, but he'll want to walk away shooting under par here today and then start again for the next tournament, because with a good run, he will still have, he's right up there. I mean, he'll still have eyes for the Ryder Cup in Rome, but he needs a good run with a few wins.
Yeah, I think that's right. So, Liam observing, contemplating, should he go in and say something? He'll have one sentence to say to him, maybe have a little game like, come on, see, let's have 69 as a goal, set a target, give your man a focus, a process. Kind of a clean action there. Pretty good ball speed for a fairly slightly built guy.
You put him down as slightly built? He's like an ox.
He's strong, but he's not tall. I mean,
no, he isn't tall.
You can put him next to Dustin Johnson, Gary Woodland, Koepka, Rahm.
Rahm, yeah.
They look like rugby. They look like rugby players. Do you like rugby, Rain?
I love rugby, yeah.
Does Australia have a good team this year?
We don't know until we show up. So many good ones around at the moment, aren't there?
Yeah. Contest in France is going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to that.
Scotland are great.
Yeah. Yeah. Brian O'Driscoll's in the HSBC tent with Tim Henman helping the youth.
You played with Henman?
Yeah, I've played golf with Henman.
Oh,
terrible.
I mean, when you try to putt, all he does is
tall.
Try to put you off.
Yeah, yeah, he's really...
it's fantastic.
It's just a very...
He's great to play golf with, it's just... But
yeah,
he likes to save his money.
Oh, he's annoying. Yeah. Anyway, he's a seriously good player.
Scratch marker.
Yeah, so... just under the 170 ball speed mark, like a 285 carry. We've got an amazing team here, bringing you all these pictures. Now that, in the glasses, oh, there he is, Kev. Now Kev, he's like a crab, right? He can, most people walk forward, he only ever walks sideways, look at that. Sideways or backwards. He's amazing. That's him, that's Kev. Very handsome, isn't he? Anyway, now he's bringing you that shot. The behind the player look, so here we go. There we go. Liam James just taking his man through some of the stats. And so we're going to take a small break and we'll be back in just a moment.
Follow the 151st Open in unrivaled detail on the Open.com and the Open app. Go behind the scenes with Live at the Range from Monday to Sunday of Open Week.
Yeah, that was flush.
Track every shot hit at the championship and get real-time statistics with ShotView. Get minute-by-minute coverage on the go with Open Radio.
Jumping up and down. It's an unbelievable bunker shot.
Follow feature groups throughout each day of the championship and soak up all the action on the incredible 17th hole with the Par 3 channel. All streamed live on the Open.com and the Open app. Get closer to the Open wherever you are.
We are back live at the range. There it is. Scenes as the players get ready for their second round of the 151st Open. It's been a great watch. Who have we got there? Oh, I think that is the man who had honours last night of being the last person out.
Not a great draw.
No, not a great draw.
It's, you get to the Open Championships and all the Opens I've played in, sometimes, my first Open Championship in 84, I hit off at 420, I was last as well.
Yeah.
With Wayne Grady and John Jacobs, and that worked out fine because it was still that year, Sevy's year.
Yeah.
But you know, you're hitting off late. Yesterday there was some wind, it got quite cold. And then you got to play today in the middle of the day into the wind again.
So Marco was out last. Matthew Jordan was out first. I think that is the back, broad shoulders of local hero, who put together just an amazing score, really. He must have felt so tense.
Today's a big day for
Matthew Jordan.
Matty Jordan. It's a big day out there. Every stand is going to be full. Every single one. There won't be a spare seat. He will be cheered onto every green, and he wants to be on the right side of scoring. He wants to go, he doesn't want to let a few slip. It'll go a little quieter when it's been quite raucous and rowdy for him. So it's a massive day today. You know, he's playing in an Open Championship. It's a home game. So let's wish him all the best. It's going to be tough out there today. What would be a good score for him today? Par or anything under?
Oh, well, yeah. If you can, I think it's going to be quite hard. I think Brian Harman's round and probably Tom Kim's round are outliers. I think even par's a good score today.
Yep, I think
so. Yeah, I think that's Mike Walker. So Mike was really responsible with the hoodie there. Really responsible for the Matt Fitzpatrick win at the US Open. Right-hand man of Peter Cowan. Great coach. Safe pair of hands.
There are so many of you out there now, Simon Holmes. There's so many of you that are so very good.
It was strange. I remember being on this driving range or driving ranges, and I mean, I think I was there. Bob Torrance was there, and that was it. You were coached by lovely Bob Torrance.
Yeah, I had a crack with you too. That didn't work out. I had a crack with everyone. Find me, help me, someone.
Right. Yeah, where were we? Scottish Open somewhere, right?
Yeah,
is that right?
All sorts.
Yeah.
Bob Torrance, what a coach. Some say the best.
Yeah, he's a great man. Sadly missed. So
the quips from Bob Torrance. The quips. I remember Richard Boxall, I worked with at Sky Sports. He says, Bob, can you come over and look at me? Look at my swing. And Bob just looked at Richard Boxall and said, Richard, you'll always be a flicker and a flailer. Let's just stick with it. That's what he said to him. On the range, it was like a flicker and a flailer. Crawl.
So, yeah, Bob Torrance, he had a one-liner for pretty much every single situation. High hopes for Matthew Jordan. 11:36 he goes off. First out. A little while. For his tee time at 11:36, playing with Richie Ramsey, Brandon Grace. 2 under par.
just warming up the engines.
Nice draw, Simon. Richie Ramsey and Brandon Grace.
Yeah. I think that matters. You think that they would have calmed him down too. They're both good characters.
Not that you dislike anyone out on tour. You know, you can't get on with everybody, but you know, you just stick. Golf's a great game. Even if you don't quite get on with someone that well, you can, you know, you get away with a good shot and everything's. You know, our game's a gentlemanly sport. It's one of those. But that is a nice draw. Two good guys, Richie Ramsey and Brandon Grace. And yeah, that'll certainly help.
Yeah, I think that does matter. You know, it is individual, but if you get a group, if you're in a group that gets off to a good start, you feed each other momentum. I do think that matters. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, it's massive. I mean, it doesn't matter in a 3-ball first 2 days if one guy's is having more hits than ABBA and the other guy's having a good day like you. But if you are playing well, like this Matty, and both the other guys are struggling, that can be quite difficult because you can start dovetailing in their slipstream when things start to go wrong, and that's when it becomes ugly.
Yeah, it was interesting. I felt as though the Rory McIlroy, Rahman, Rose group yesterday got off to a very slow start. All of them sort of looked as though they were just leaking oil. I can give you the report that Rory has got to 1 under. Rahm is still 3 over, but Rosie has dropped another shot at the second hole, so he's moving away from the pace. That's annoying for Rose fans.
There wasn't a lot of chat out there. I was with that group yesterday, and there wasn't a lot of chat. I think Rory was just staying, you know, in his own space, as you do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a huge focus, isn't it? The Open. So
very difficult to play at your home club. I never played a huge golf tournament at my own club back in Sydney, but I played pro-ams and stuff like that. And the expectation, always they expect you to win because, oh, you played here since you were 12 years old. You know, you shoot 69 on your, every day, 3 under every time you go out. Why shouldn't you win this 36 pro? It doesn't work like that. No. It doesn't. No. Golf courses are set up differently. He's never seen this golf course set up like this before.
No.
And he's been here since he's been 7.
Yeah, no, it is. It's amazing, isn't it? So, just having a look. Mike Walker in the hoodie with his back to us, chatting to the team Jordan. I wonder if either we can move or we can get Matt's caddy to move. There we go. So Mike is just there really to settle the nerves and talk out, give some feedback to his man. He'll be nervous. He'll understand the enormity of the situation and the amazing opportunity that his brilliant round yesterday could create, Wayne Riley.
Psyching him up, basically. Matty will be going, how's it looking, Mike? Mate, I've never seen you swing it better.
Yeah.
I've never seen you swing it better.
I think that's right. And
you've been there, done that, Holmesy, haven't you?
I wouldn't be able to say that. You're trying to calm your man, right? It's like when you're edgy and you're like, okay, what you need something to go, how am I doing? You're doing
well,
great.
When you work with Langer, I mean, so that he would never get edgy. What would he ask you? Anything?
Langer was such a weird person to work with because it's almost as though he needed like a new swing thought that did the same thing every day. Like the one that he had yesterday didn't work anymore. It's like he'd worn it out. So what's another way of me saying the same thing as I said yesterday? And he would just run through that.
A thought.
Yeah, a thought. And that would be the thing. I still sometimes work with Bernard Langer. So it's like, it's always around the same sorts of things. That's one of the things. It's like, amateurs, if you're out there, you don't suddenly have a bunch of new problems. They're just sort of the old problems, maybe in a bit of a different mixture.
That right foot position right there is almost turned in towards the left.
Towards the ball, yeah.
Is that to brace the right side?
I think so, yeah. Stabilization.
very slow pace, isn't it? The not many balls, not thrashing it around the place.
It's almost like the left toe is pointing towards the other one.
Yeah, it's almost like
pigeon-toed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just for short shots.
Yeah.
It's just loosening up the muscles right now.
Yeah. Just clipping the ball, finding the ball, the middle of the bat.
This is a range that he wouldn't be familiar with, really. The range is usually over where the tented villages are, and here you walk from the clubhouse, you walk over a bridge, but I think the players are shuttled anyway, not very far, but it's probably a 5 or a 4 iron from here if you were to hit a golf ball to the clubhouse.
Yeah.
And the thousands and thousands and thousands of people, you have to shuttle them in. Otherwise, they'd never get their autographs, photos, selfies.
The final chat, just to keep them loose. Keep him talking, keep him thinking positively. Soft finish. Just clipping a few away, trying to calm the nerves. Stop thinking about the results, stop thinking about what you've got to do today.
Plenty of water on board. Just go out and play golf. Enjoy it.
How hard is that to do? How hard is that to do for him? How big's the task for him?
It's hard for anyone to do, but you need to do it as a professional golfer. For him today, you've just got to come up with something more of the same, please. Yesterday, he did so very well, but he teed off early.
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of people. Okay, the home folk were here to watch their home son, their favourite son, but it's going to be totally different today. It's going to be, he would have taken off there, and the stands that are huge, they're like the Starship Enterprise on every hole.
Yeah.
I mean, they would have been a third full.
Yeah.
Today, they are going to be, it's like, how big is it? It's like, if you watch Wimbledon, if you watch a big tennis tournament, it's like that on every green.
Yeah.
Every single green, it is like that. And you can walk on there. If you aren't doing well, it's deathly hush.
Yeah.
If you're doing well, they give you applause. And so you've got to make sure you're doing well. They keep your spirits up so you can keep your own spirits up. They try to help you, and that's what he's got to be so aware of that today. Do everything the same as he did yesterday, and if that doesn't work early doors, okay, find another tactic, but just make sure you are here for the weekend, because these locals are so very proud of you, Matt, so go and do them proud.
Yeah, Matthew Jordan, we wish you well. So I think Di Stewart is down there again. Di?
Well, I'm not going anywhere, Simon. I'm here all week until Sunday.
I'm here all week.
I'm
here all week.
You're here all week.
I'm here all week. We're here all week.
I'm very happy.
Iona.
We're all here all week.
Oh, you guys are looking great down there on the range.
that.
How's the ambience?
The ambience, that's a great word. Yeah. I've missed Wayne, I really have. Oh, lovely to hear you both in the box. Great to be down here on the range with Iona. Noni, I always want to say Noni because it's your nickname.
It is my nickname. Yes. Now it's out to the world.
It's out to the world. Noni, tell us, you were out on the course yesterday.
I was,
Who were you following?
I was following Wayne Radar Riley.
Were you? She was following you, Radar.
No, I was. He was in the group ahead, and I was out with Tyrrell Hatton, Morikawa and Homa, so a terrific group, and of course Homa had a really, really good round. They all played pretty solid. Colin Morikawa, of the three, was a little bit wayward, not what we're used to seeing with him, because of course he is one of the best iron players in the world, and he was hitting shots all over the place in the first few holes.
Was he?
To be honest, he should have been 7 or 8 over par, but he was holing these wonderful putts, including a terrific putt on the 4th hole from off the green.
Oh my goodness.
Up over, round a helter-skelter, and in she went, bottom of the cup.
Oh, I love that.
One hand in the cookie jar. It was the most wonderful putt. Anyway, so you know, 3 very different days on the golf course, but all in all, they're still in the mix. And Max Homa, of course, very much in the mix. 3 under par was what he finished on.
Great score to finish on. What's leading at the moment?
I think the last I looked was Justin Parsons' player who's to the right of us here, Brian Harman.
Yeah.
He's working with Brandon Grace just there on the range. But Brian Harman was 8 under par there, Di. Yeah, superb. What a day.
8 under, absolutely. It shows, doesn't it, that there are birdies out there. The leaders obviously go out late at 5 under par, which was a really solid, 66 on day one. You've got to be so delighted with that. And I know the home fans, they were screaming for Tommy Fleetwood yesterday, weren't they?
Yeah, and I'm out with Tommy today.
Amazing. What time's his tee-off time?
He's at 2:45.
2:45,
so,
okay.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of time. And
time
Adam
management,
Scott
isn't it, this morning? Adam Scott, yeah. How did he finish off yesterday?
You know, he was going along. I was having a wee blether with his caddy Greg this morning. Said he got away with a few wayward shots in the front line, but he was under par to the turn, and then he let a few go and unfortunately finished with a double bogey on the 18th on the par 5.
That 18th got a lot of people, including Ryan Fox. We spoke to Jamie Goff earlier, and Jamie said that Ryan lost his drive on the right, ended up with a quadruple bogey on 18.
Yeah, it can bite you. You know, it can give, but it can also bite.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, George is out and about. George, where exactly? Oh, are you at the putting green? It's blowing, isn't it?
Yes, hello Di. I've made my way down to the putting green once again, and as you can see by those humongous flags, the wind is blowing. But I'm happy to say I've been carrying around this umbrella for quite a while this morning, but I think I can get rid of it. You
look older when you carry an umbrella around.
Thank you.
You look very mature, George. So who have you seen in the last hour?
Well, we've just had Rory McIlroy's group walk past on the 3rd. So,
oh, yeah. It wasn't good news for Justin Rose, was it, on the 3rd?
No, I actually had a front... So, Nick, I'm just on live television here, you know.
Can you get him over?
Show some professionalism, you know. Don't distract me.
Oh, get him over for a word, George.
Don't distract me.
Oh, he's running away. He's running away.
Goodness me. But, yeah, I happen to be right here behind Justin Rose for that shot, so that was not great to watch, but... The wind, as we saw by the flags, it's all go. So it's it's great down here, but it's been a good morning. Obviously the feature groups are underway, so there's a lot of golfers now out on course.
Yeah, they certainly are, and we're on the range. We've got Brandon Grace on the range, who obviously shot that 62 at Royal Birkdale back in 2017, the lowest round in Open history. So many stats flying around the place. It's great, isn't it? But the weather conditions today, you're out this afternoon. Yeah. What are we expecting?
Yeah, well, at the moment, much of the same. I mean, as George alluded to, there is some threat of showers perhaps this afternoon. But, you know, yesterday on the whole, in the afternoon, the wind was really strong. It was maybe 2.5 club wind, but it felt like pretty scoreable, you know, in terms of what you can get in Britain when it comes to links golf. Yeah. You know, it felt like, well, if there's going to be a low score, and the fact that there was only 31 players, I believe, under par at the end of the day, just shows you what a tough test of golf Royal Liverpool is. And if the weather gets even harder and more brutal, then perhaps the scoring won't be quite as low in the next few days, and we'll see what today will bring. Obviously, Brian Harman having a good one, but let's see.
Absolutely, he's 8 under. Let's show you the tee times for this afternoon. We are back at 12:30, so we've got a little bit of respite, but then we're coming back until 4 o'clock. 2:04, Jordan Spieth finished at 2 under par. He was back out on the range, wasn't he, after his round, always grinding. Matt Fitzpatrick +1, and Jason Day. Great story, isn't it? Alex and Matt playing in the Open Championship together, brothers.
I know, it's wonderful. We love it when brothers come. We've obviously got the Højgaard twins here as well. But yeah, they've been having a wonderful week, and their parents here too. They must be so proud.
Absolutely. Their dad is. I spoke to him yesterday. He was beaming. 237, Patrick Cantlay, Brooks Koepka, Hideki Matsuyama. Score of 1 under. It's a great place to be.
It is, yeah. They're sitting in a great spot heading into day 2, and we know how much Brooks Koepka loves the majors. He's a major machine.
Certainly is. Okay. Tommy Fleetwood is in the next group, 248, with Adam Scott and Scotty Scheffler. This is the group you are following. What is that first tee going to be like?
Oh, it's going to be mayhem, Di. The atmosphere yesterday was just wonderful, and we didn't have a local lad, Tommy, obviously, just from down the road, so they're all rooting for him, and boy, oh boy, does he deserve to do well. Get his hands on a claret jug. He really does. He's a world-class player, so I'm so excited to get out there.
Oh, brilliant stuff. Cam Smith, the defending champ, +1 with Xander Schauffele, 1 under par, and Wyndham Clark, major champion, of course, -3. What a good score from him. Thanks, Noni. We're going to take a little walk down the range and watch some of these gorgeous swings ahead of the guys getting out for their second round. Enjoy this afternoon.
Thank you, Di. I'm looking forward to it very much.
I'm looking forward to you commentating on Tommy Fleetwood, and we are back at 12:30 until 4 o'clock live on the range, and we're here all weekend as well. We'll see you in an hour and a half.